Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
How's
it going?
How you doing? You know, we had hopes that this stream would be in 1440p, but it's not.
I don't know why.
We did kind of an accidental test on Twitch this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And let me double check. Yeah,
and it worked fine then, but
it's 14. It's 4. I just double checked. My canvas is 1440p. Yeah, it worked there. It was 1440p there. I guess YouTube doesn't do 1440p for streams. It does for videos, which because I can capture in 1440p, I'm planning to make our RetroTINK 5X episode in 1440p because why the heck not?
Yeah. Well, Henry Clark's saying it's 1440p for him. I have 1440p. Maybe some people people have.
Someone was.
I can refresh the stream. I'll try that.
Yeah, when we were testing on Twitch, some people said like, "Oh, the Xbox Twitch app doesn't." Like it was like crashing because it was 1440p or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it depends on if you're watching through an app or something, or maybe it only shows up if your monitor supports it.
Well, I mean, I think my monitor supports it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if I make it full screen, it would do it.
I see we got a $5 super chat from Chris Fratz saying can't wait to get my RetroTINK 5X in the mail. Time to turn RetroTINK 5X on. Also, the stream maxes out at 1440p 60 FPS. So there you go. I guess this is right, working. Well, who knew it would work? I just kind of got ambitious and thought, I wonder if it would work.
Yeah, I mean it's not showing up for me, but I'll take most people's word for it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm fuzzy because my webcam is kind of far away, so that's just what it is. Sandy is also fuzzy, if you were wondering. Yeah, you fuzzy.
Okay, so people say it's the 1440p through the LG YouTube app. I can always try and bring it up on my TV too.
That's kind of ironic because 1440p does not work on our OLEDs. But it does apparently on the CXs and maybe some of the other more recent models.
Oh, okay. I guess that would make sense.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, it works on my Samsung.
Yeah.
Actually, well, yeah, it works on my Samsung.
It works on my your old 1080p Samsung.
No. I have on my 4K, my above monitor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I 1440p kind of works on my old 1080p Samsung. Like it works, but the bottom fifth of the screen is just junk.
I see. Well, I mean, you look over it works on computer monitors a lot more than just regular TVs. As in my experience.
Yeah, well, and that's what I did. I actually bought a computer monitor, mostly inspired by the RetroTINK 5X because I was just I was just dying to see what the 6X mode, the native 1440p mode looks like because, I mean, you can do a vertical integer scale of 240p up to that. You can do vertical integer scale of 480i up to that, of 480p up to that. I was just I have to see what this looks like. It would be really good for a video. So I bought one, $250, LG 1440p monitor, 32 inches, and it fits exactly between my two PVMs. And I wanted a better monitor in this room anyway. So yeah, it's been super awesome for using the RetroTINK on so far. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm playing on a PVM though. Just because,
Right now.
yeah, I only have one monitor in here, so I wouldn't be able to see the chat if.
Oh, I thought you put that computer monitor in there. I thought you put the computer monitor in the room that you're in.
Oh, it is, but it's my only monitor, so.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I can't see the RetroTINK full screen.
You should mount the old one you had in there. Then.
Well, it's
up and use it as your computer.
It's a Sony. I mean, one of the reasons I wanted to get another one was because it's a Sony PlayStation 3D TV, for the PS3.
Yeah.
And it's small and has a lot of glare on it, so it was really hard to actually see like the chat room or to see what you're doing on it and stuff. So I wanted a different one. I might get a second one, like a second one for this room later, but for now, we'll just be going like this.
I'm logging into the Streamlabs here so that I can.
Yeah, we're already 3 behind.
Donations, like we gotta catch up on. Almost there. So you're just gonna play a variety of games on it.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And I guess for the record, I don't know if we stated this up front, but we are doing a video on it, an episode. So
right.
It was a last minute thing. Like, you were thinking about not doing it until after Analog Frontiers was done, and then you realized like, oh, this is actually more important that we should just do it right now.
Yeah. I was just like, it's we've been waiting like our entire YouTube careers for a device that does some of the things that this does. You know what I mean? Like, how can we not? Like, this is a priority. It really has to be a priority. And we've had them for a couple of weeks, but we didn't know when the launch was going to be. And when we found out when the launch is going to be, it was like, we better fast track a video here. So we finished the script yesterday, and I'm estimating it's going to be like a 25, 27 minute video. That's based on the length of the script. So, I'm going to be pushing real hard this week. We'll see. We'll see what I can get done. I don't know if for sure.
As much as I can. I'm going out of town for work from Tuesday, and I'll be back on Thursday.
If we're lucky, the video will be up before the stream next week sometime. If not, it'll be.
There's no overlay. So you did not create
No, I didn't create an overlay because I wanted, if people were watching on a 1440p monitor, I wanted them to be able to put it full screen and see, I didn't want to scale it, resize it, or anything. I mean, that is on the left there is the raw 2-size 1440p output. All
right, well, going back to the donations, there's $4.99 from Dingus Galert.
Thank you.
7 minutes ago, saying I bought a new truck 6 days ago, and it was rear-ended yesterday.
Oh,
here's to tonight's stream being better than my day.
Well, when I was like 18, 19, the one like accident of any consequence I've been in, I sort of lightly rear-ended, well, not super lightly rear-ended, but like a 35 mile per hour speed limit area rear-ended, a car that a lady who worked for a lawyer, had bought not that many days ago. And like me, we were really sweating it because she worked for a lawyer. Like, ooh, like nothing came of it. Like nothing.
Well, you're just a kid.
The officer gave but it was a brand new car, but the officer gave me like a $50 ticket or something like that. Like I cannot. That was a weird situation. But anyway,
there was also $5 from Vanessa saying RetroTINK 5X hype. Congrats to Mike Chi and his amazing work, as well as the community's involvement in helping to develop this awesome device. That's very true. There's a lot of people helping out with it. Mm-hmm. Giving feedback, testing it.
Voltar was joking about the RetroTINK 5X for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I was like, what is this? Like, did he mod his RetroTINK 2X to do this or something? Like, I didn't really understand what was going on. I mean, I certainly don't know the full inside story, but I mean, Mike Chi has he's really kept a lot of products coming out, and he's all along making this happen. I mean, and this is, I mean, you know, from going from putting out these excellent options for, you know, people who like, oh, I just want my N64 to look good. I just want to be able to maybe stream a little, you know, you're just kind of looking into it, you know. Those people, you know, I always recommend this to those people first because, you know, like the RetroTINK Mini and stuff like that, because like it's such an easy way to dip your toe into it when you know that like other solutions like aren't giving you what you want, they aren't treating 240p correctly, they're giving you a lot of lag. Like if you are willing to at least invest $80, you can get a better experience. And then, you know, he's gone from these things that are like targeting like that kind of audience and things that are also very useful for us. Cause I feel like the RetroTINK 2X Mini, you know, up until the 5X has been like the best quality, composite and S video. Like they just look best on that than captured through other sources, in my opinion. But then, you know, then he goes all the way like to this, to where like he's putting everyone's dream features into this thing. I mean, it's crazy. We've come a long way. Well, do you want me to hit triangle? I mean, is this the moment? Are we?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I know you've shown this with
you're not using the triple buffer mode, right?
Well, I am right now because
you want to compare it.
Yeah, so I'll show it. So right now we're on triple buffer mode, which is like the setting that is out of the box, which basically means you know, it's got a buffer, which, you know, does add some small amount of input lag, you know.
Like a frame, like a little bit over a frame?
Like, if that, like based on my time sleuth readings, like it was like, maybe 18 milliseconds over. I mean, over the baseline lag. Like the baseline on this monitor was like 2.5 milliseconds of lag, which is, I was very surprised how fast it is.
And what it ends up as, I think that John Lemon did a test and figured out that it ends up being like one extra frame every 17 seconds or so.
Oh, right. So, well, I think it depends on the speed of the console. So, like, it would drop a frame for Super Nintendo. So, like, it depends on the speed of the console. But the way I word it in the script, several times per minute, there may be an extra frame added or one frame dropped, just to keep that 60 hertz pace. This is very similar to, like, the Super NT or whatever. But, you know, there you go.
Hit triangle.
I did it. I did
it. Turn on. Okay, people are saying you got to turn on your volume a little bit to match mine. It's super loud. Am I all right?
Yeah, I mean, which
is my level good and then he's super loud, or am I not loud enough?
Oh wait.
Oh, people are saying Travis' mic is not loud.
Turn your mic volume. Turn down my mic volume to match Corey's.
Well, I mean, that's just what they're saying, but they're saying I think maybe you might just be talking loud.
I might have just been talking loud. I mean, my levels don't look that bad, but I'll lower the input in OBS a little bit. My voice, you know, changes in volume a lot more than Corey's does. But yeah, here we are. This is motion adaptive deinterlacing, keep in mind. With you know, no meaningful drop here. So you'll see like a junk frame like during the transition, but actually on my PVM here, like I actually see like the gameplay, the 240p screen like sort of like shake a little bit when it comes back. So it's like, it's not perfect there either. I mean, the only way to avoid that, I guess, would be like if you could insert like a black frame or two, like when the transition is happening. I don't even know if that's possible, but like it's that I think. It's instant. There's nothing that you're missing by going to the menu. And of course, it actually looks, the menus in these games in Chrono Cross, those little green icons in the menu, they look real. I remember when I first got this game, I was wondering why those were just like flickering constantly, because I didn't understand that it was like a different resolution from the game. And like those green things, they're like one scan line high, so they've always looked kind of bad on a CRT actually, but they look better, de-interlaced.
So I have like a bunch of donations I gotta catch up on. There was $5 from Pixel Phoenix saying very excited for the RetroTINK 5X. Picked one up this weekend, and by chance, I'm also playing Chrono Cross right now.
Oh,
well, now you may want to wait.
Yeah, I would wait unless you're playing on a CRT, then that's fine.
There's 20 Canadian dollars.
Oh wow, thank you.
Atomic X-Fire or Atomic Crossfire, saying thanks for always presenting the best quality for the retro scene. Although there's a lot of people on the newest videos saying like, why are you doing this? Why did you do this?
Yeah, like some people are like, oh, like making games look worse is beneath you.
Yeah. There's $5 from Chris Fratz again, saying I would highly recommend playing Dolphin in 3D on that Sony PlayStation 3D display.
Oh yeah. He mentioned that before. That is something I've literally never tried the 3D feature on it. I need to get around to that.
There's $7.77 from Seven Korean.
Oh, I knew who it was going to be. I knew it was going to be him.
The real question is, can the RetroTINK 5X do a smooth transition on a Final Fantasy VII Game Over screen at 240p to 480i?
Well, this is 240p to 480i in Chrono Cross.
Well, maybe it's different, and maybe it's like throws off the timing or something like that, the way it's presented in Final Fantasy.
I don't know. It's been so long since I got Game Over in Final Fantasy VII. But before you go to the next one, let me just right here. I'm going to switch it from triple buffer mode to frame lock mode. Now, this is the mode that has, for all intents and purposes, no lag. It has like 2 milliseconds, which is functionally 0.
Yeah, it runs at the same rate as the game does, or the system does.
Right. So, this has 0 lag. This has no added frames, assuming your display accepts what the system is outputting, which, in our case, has been no problem. If you can use the OSSC, you'll be able to use the frame lock mode here as well. But you're more prone, perhaps, to drops in, when there's an interruption. But here, almost looks even better. You don't actually, for some reason, you don't see that junk frame as much when you're changing. It almost seems better, but tell me if y'all can hear, the music's, pretty soft right now. But I did test, it did seem like you might have like a slight hitch in audio when using frame lock mode during these transitions. So if it's a game that's going to be like if it's something like Cruis'n Exotica, where you're in a 480i menu and then you go into the gameplay, like the music's going to be changing anyway. But in a game like Chrono Cross, like the music is, constant, whether it's on gameplay or in the menu. So that will be kind of distracting. So if you're playing a game like this, you might want to switch to triple buffer mode. But in most cases, we've been able to play in frame lock mode just fine.
There was $10 from Trey Harrison saying, please test the device with VHS, and when you guys do your video, I'd love to have a solid device for digitizing tapes. All the options I tried from Amazon are trash. And I tweeted a little home video test yesterday on our Twitter account, and it works great. If you're in triple buffer mode, I couldn't get anything to come up using the frame lock. But because the tape I have, I picked out like this one that's all kinds of edited stuff on a single tape, so it's unplayable on anything basically. And with triple buffer, it was great. It didn't drop us at all.
That's amazing. It was a really funny video too.
So you could buy it with confidence, knowing that it's going to work with your VHS tapes.
So that particular tape has always been bad for you.
Oh yeah. It's just a compilation of edited home videos that I made with friends and stuff. And it worked great. There's $5 from John, Polish Impossible to Say, saying, "Mark, please turn on your volume a little bit. The Magic Warriors is super loud." That was when I saw that first.
Hopefully it's better now. I can make further adjustments if needed.
There's $5 from Deblur. Say thank you, saying it's been 5 years since the room tour video. May we have a 2021 update video, please?
That is the intent. This room,
it's like way at the top of our list.
Yeah, this room right now is very much kind of a mess, and I'm going to be making some changes to how things are functioning in here, and in no small part due to the RetroTINK 5X. You know, I want to optimize how my wires are run for it, because right now it's in kind of a makeshift scenario just for streaming and making the episode, but I will have it installed in a more permanent capacity in the coming months for sure.
I'm excited to do it. And it's very high priority. So, you know, I can't say exactly when it's going to be, but I'd like it to be soonish. I mean, maybe I'll do that right after the Mr. video's out.
So while I'm on PlayStation, I hope I put in the right disc for this. I have not tested this. I thought this might be a neat thing to test. This is a game that I would like to learn to play better than I can.
Okay.
You'll see we are on motion adaptive deinterlace, I don't even understand. None of the none of the deinterlacing modes add any input lag.
Right, but I mean, there's it's hard to say if like a lot of the other ones are even worth it, like the weave and stuff like that, or in like the
oh yeah. Well, I mean, Mike even said like, oh, like the others are even only there to make motion adaptive look good.
Oh, I see.
What? Well, oh, it's just taking the game a really long time to load.
Oh, okay, you're doing the turbo mode.
I guess it has to like load in, and it's probably like a completely separate thing.
What, the turbo mode?
Well, I'm saying like I think it was in another menu, and then it like had to load the game from there, so that's why it dropped the signal, because it was just like it was just outputting nothing, I think. So this is 480i 60 frames per second, correct?
Yeah. There was $4.99 from Dingus Galert. Again, saying, I know I've mentioned it before, but I'd love to see you guys play Body Harvest.
Ah.
So maybe you can pop that one in tonight.
Maybe I can. I'm guessing I can you not drift with the original Ridge Racer, or am I just initiating?
I think it's different the way you do it. I think you might have to hit like gas twice.
See, my memory, the Ridge Racer games, believe it or not, that I put the most time into. Whoa, that I put the most time into are the PSP and DS ones, because they were. I mean, Ridge Racer is a game that has always like tried to capitalize on being like near launch. I bought those because it was like, I'm not a big like car racing guy, but it was something to buy, and I did like them. I really liked the PSP one especially. And my memory was like double tapping gas. And then when I've tried, like I recently tried Ridge Racer 5. 5 is actually sitting on my pile here, and I was doing really bad at it when I was trying it out earlier. I played a little 7 recently, and like my memory of how you drift in the PSP one is not translating over very well to those. Now I'm noticing that on my PVM the time numbers they're actually flickering like constantly. Like, and not in a way that I don't think it's just part of the interlacing. Like, what does it look like? What does it look like on the stream? They almost look like they're solid.
It looks solid on the stream.
Yeah. I don't know if it's caused by the interlacing or something else. It's hard to tell.
No, I'd say that's definitely the interlacing. Like, because it's changing so much. And it's just, maybe it's just like thin enough. I think it would look like that on any TV.
Yeah.
Any CRT.
So
I wanted to, I think it's funny because Classic Gaming Quarterly's in the chat saying, "Am I allowed to ask a question if I don't pay $5?" And
we try.
I keep up. I feel like I have to give, like, if anybody donates, I have to give that priority. But I do, like, I mean, I answer anything as much as I can. But if we're like behind on questions, I gotta like finish those first. But speaking of which, there's 5 pounds from InGen UK. Thank you. Saying, how's the Mr. video coming along? I'm chomping at the bit for it. It's coming along. It's coming along. This video will hit first, but it'll be the one after that.
Right. We're hoping that it can be done before Analog Frontiers Part 4, so that, and if things go to plan, it will be RetroTINK 5X, Mr. Analog Frontiers Part 4, all within, the span of a month maybe, if we're lucky.
Yeah.
If we're lucky.
I mean, that'd be really cool if that was.
So,
gonna happen.
So just so people know, I turned it on blend de-interlace mode. I mean, one of the nice things is you can actually leave these like things on the screen. So I'm actually considering like taking advantage of that in the video. Just have some of the things on screen in the video so you can understand what is, what mode is, what's going on. So this is, I don't know if you can really tell much on the stream or not, but this is where there's basically 2 fields are doubled and they kind of ghost together. I mean, what's interesting is, there's a lot of PS2 games that actually kind of do that. Like, I always think of like Persona 4. Like, it's never like, unless you're in a dungeon, and the dungeons, like, motion is solid, but it's never like a good game to show off, like when you're, for a recording, when you're like running around the town or something, because there's this like ghost, this like blur effect that's like implemented into the game. I almost wonder if like the artifacts from blend mode would be not noticeable. And that my replay looks so bad.
Yeah,
it does.
There's $5 from Casual Gamer Anonymous. It was not a super chat. It was a Streamlabs donation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying, what games do you guys plan on testing the RetroTINK with on today's stream? You probably have a pile there. I'm not sure.
I do have a pile. I'm sure I will grab things
Body
that
Harvest
are not on the pile. Let's do N64. Well, I'll do N64 now, and then I'll go back to it later, because I think some people would like to see S-Video on it, but my S-Video cable won't reach where the RetroTINK is, so I have to unplug the other cables from it to do S-Video, so let's do S-Video a little later. But yeah, we can do
Well, there's $2 from Potbelly Punch saying Ridge Racer 5 is hard. You need to drive perfect.
I mean, it's right here. It's right here. But I was not doing good. One thing that kind of annoyed me in it when I was playing it was the third person view, I couldn't find a way to zoom it out any further, and my car was like, you couldn't see like a below the bumper of my car. Like, I prefer a more zoomed out third person view in a racing game. I don't know, it was weird. Let me grab Body Harvest.
All right. In the meantime, there's $4.99 from Dingus Blurt saying, I just want a comment to be read before CGQ's Body Harvest. And then CGQ with the $5 right after, like less than a minute afterwards, saying, and I did see him put this in the chat before he donated, saying, calm down, Francine. I'm just joking. Well,
I heard that
it wouldn't be a conversation with CGQ if he wasn't busting my chops a little bit.
And if you were
I think he gets greater joy out of like busting my chops than anybody I've ever met. No, I mean, like, just like in a very very subtle way.
You have a hard time. I mean, I do too. We all have a hard time like telling like, is he serious? Like, he just sounds so serious all the time. Like, his voice just carries weight with it.
He's very quick.
Yeah.
He's very quick and very, he plays it straight.
Yeah. Now, this is, I've only got an expansion pack in one of my N64s. Which, I heard that the price is going up on those. I kind of regret not getting more while I could.
I heard they're kind of expensive now.
I should probably get one or two before they get too much worse. But this is going to be terrible because America's like the third level, so it's probably going to be really hard to jump into. But this is an old Deblur mod, on a early N64 console. Or did I say old Deblur mod? I mean an old RGB mod. So it does not have Deblur. However, you can. I mean, you know how I'm not the hugest fan of optimized modes, but this is one of the big selling features for a lot of people. I like to keep it at straight 4:3 when possible, and to be fair, I believe the Ultra HDMI is doing integer scaling to make it non 4:3 as well. I think 4:3 certainly has a little wiggle room, but I just prefer to stay consistent and just use 4:3 because it's not like the pixels aren't sharp anyway. But here is the N64 optimized mode, which some people have been saying like it almost makes it look like a Deblur mod, like even on S-Video only N64.
Okay, I gotta catch up. Everyone's going crazy here. There's $5 from Josh Helmicky saying, "How come answer my question?" You should have put it in that super chat. There's $2 from Patrick Working saying, "How's testing going? Anything surprising in VHS?" I said earlier that VHS works incredible. My jaw was on the floor as I watched. If you want to see it in action for 3 seconds, go check out our Twitter, where I shared a quick video of me in probably like 1994, I'm guessing.
Good year.
Yeah. There was $2 from Demo Kirby saying, "Time to test PS1 FMV on the X5 with Gamera 2000."
Oh.
I don't feel like you have your X-Station modded system in the room with you.
I don't, but I don't have Japanese games on it just yet.
If it was me, I could do it. I mean, I could probably send it through to my little window there as a webcam. But we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. There was $5 from Classic Gaming Quarterly saying, "I don't sound like that." I know. I wish I could do an impression of you, but I can't. I can't mimic that velvety smooth voice. There was $2 from Bionic saying, "Are you going to do a Dreamcast video ever?" Yes. You know, it's gonna be. I feel like it can be one of our very first videos after Analog Frontiers is wrapped.
It's very possible.
I think we should really make that a priority to be like the first video after Analog Frontiers is wrapped. There was everyone's going crazy with the super chats. I'm trying to keep up.
There's 851 people in here right now. Jeez.
Oh my god!
Watch them body harvest.
Also, he's holding up for the 8.7. 8x7.
One of the neat things about this game is just how many vehicles there are. I mean, this is a game by the studio that became, known for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. There was $2.99 from Dingus Clerk saying he does sound like that. Talking about CGQ. And then CGQ comes back at him saying Dingus Clerk eats French fries with mayonnaise.
I mean, there's a lot of people who would, award him a medal for doing so.
Mayonnaise. Jeez, you guys. There's $5 from Alex Gerdes saying, "I love this community."
I do too.
And me too. It is amazing the kind of things that are just coming out of this community, and I am very, very thankful that we, started the channel when we did, and we got involved with this community when we did. I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
That I am so happy that this is the kind of stuff that we make videos about, because it's so exciting right now. And it feels like every week it's like something cool is happening. Every single week.
I mean, just like Smoke Monster said in Analog Frontiers Part 3, outsiders might think that classic gaming is all about old things, but this stuff is using pretty cutting edge technology. I mean, there's just stuff happening all the time. So yeah, if anyone likes N64 games and also Earth Defense Force, I mean, go blow you up some bugs on the N64. It's a little bit of a weird but janky and very interesting game with just like these huge sprawling levels. I mean, it's really neat. It's a neat little game. I have a soft spot for it.
There was 777 once again from Seven Kurgand saying, "Right, I know about the Chrono Cross resolution change. It's similar to FF7. On Game Over screen, you get music hiccup delay but by then it doesn't matter." So I guess.
I mean, who games over in Final Fantasy VII? I mean, no. I'm not trying to judge the person that asked it or nothing, but
There was $2.99 from Dingus Glurt saying, "Classic Gaming Quarterly puts ketchup on hot dogs." He's like, listen up.
The older I get, the less I like ketchup on hot dogs. I will admit.
I'm just in general not a very big ketchup fan. I know there's like a ton of super chats that I'm behind on, but my wife sent everybody in my family like a hair sample to this thing to find out what we have a sensitivity, like allergy sensitivity to, and they came back with this super detailed list. And
that's weird.
I mean, and one of mine was ketchup, which I would.
So here I meant to actually turn on for this. I meant to turn on the triple buffer mode because of these map scenes.
Oh, right.
So you saw that it dropped for a moment. That's not a resolution change. That is just, as far as I can tell, just this Genesis drop-in signal. And as you can see, it came back really quickly, but my capture card still was like, "Whoa, hey, where?
Oh yeah.
Where did it go?" But it's really quick.
Games, especially on the Genesis, it usually drops in between like the Konami logo. Yeah.
But
this is something you would have to put it on for. It's even with the frame lock, it's just not gonna keep up the same way.
Well, I mean, I turned triple buffering on, so it should be fine going forward. But like
think, I mean, that's what's cool about having an option where you can change it immediately. Like it doesn't struggle. Like if something is really annoying, you just switch it over.
Right, and I don't think, though, with this game, I don't think it happens, like, during levels. I think it's only, like, it might happen, like, after the title screen and between maps or something like that. But I don't think it happens during levels, so it's not a big deal in this game if, because this is an action game, and, I don't think that the added lag for the triple buffer mode would affect me, but if it did affect you, I don't think this is a game where you would have trouble with gameplay with frame lock mode. You would get annoying drops on the map, but it comes back so fast. I mean, that's the thing. Even when it does drop on frame lock mode, it comes back so much faster than anything else. Of course, to some extent, it may depend on your TV. On my computer monitor, when I'm using frame lock mode, and I do like Chrono Cross, or I've tested this before. On my 4K TV, it took a little longer than it did with the capture card or the 1440p monitor, but it was still way quicker than anything I'd seen before. But it was not quite quick enough to where I would be like, oh, I should play on my OLED with frame lock on for games where the resolution's changing. I would probably turn it on. But for the vast majority of games, you don't even need to worry about that kind of stuff. So you can almost always play in frame lock mode.
There was $5 from Monty G saying, please credit this donation towards one Futures TGQ question. Also, MLiG stickers, please. I gotta really get back on.
Oh yeah, we did have some stickers that I was surprised how popular they were.
Well, Monty G's been asking, I think, for a while, and I think that
we need to get some more. I wanted to revise the logo file that we send for making stickers, just because there was a slight anomaly due to the way that the damage transparency on it works. But for the most part, it's fine.
There was $4.99 from Fade, just saying hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Hey. $2 from Chris Fratt saying, I was wondering who that man with hair was. You talking about the
I'm guessing that is a joke, and is fully understood it is you.
Yeah. Yeah, the old home video. Like, I mean, VHS works great. There was $5 from Dion R. saying the Chrono Cross problem rendered Killer Instinct Gold unplayable for the first 2 seconds of a match.
Interesting.
Here's hoping that it gets fixed when I get it. I'll try that one out.
Yeah, I've not put much time into Killer Instinct Gold.
There was $4.99 from Eric Schussler saying, "Here's the $5, Corey. Now please don't hurt my family." You donated $4.99.
Oh,
$4, not $5.
You know, Paul Sutton's bad to do that. You know.
No, this was Eric Schussler that did it.
I know, but he's bad to do that too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn on the optimized mode for the Genesis here because, as you know, this is one of the key scenes for showing how 4.3 a lot of times in 320 pixel wide games, just for whatever reason, the artist didn't draw a lot of times circles and squares to compensate. Now, you know, it related to my rant from last week. You know, I err on the side of just let's just use what the CRT does. You know, you know, I wrote in the script for this episode, you know, you can never be wrong if you choose 4.3. Maybe the artists were wrong, but you can never be wrong to choose 4.3. So just leave it on 4.3 all the time, in my opinion. But, you know, you can see here you've got this optimized mode where you do get the razor sharp horizontal pixels, and, you know, your moon and Castlevania Bloodlines will be round. But you know,
we have 952 people watching. We might hit 1,000 for the second time.
For the second time?
That you know, Show was saying that my Super Mario Bros. 3 run was larger. It wasn't. There was like 800 for that one, but it was like the Mario 64 PC version that was more than. Oh, now we got 1,009.
Oh my gosh! Are you watching, Mike Chi? I mean, you did this, you know. Like, people are this excited about your work. Like, we normally do not get quite this many people. Like, an average week is like, what, like maybe 450 concurrent on average or something like that. Every once in a while, you know, for unexplained reasons or just because people are excited about something, you know, we might get 700, 800, very rarely 900, and even rare 1,000. Oh, now it's shot back down to 895. Did we scare a bunch of people off suddenly?
Because they were just trying to get in here. Once they heard us talking about the number, they were like, what is this? So they're saying Castlevania Bloodlines. Come on. So there was $2 from Evan S., who says, worth going the 2X Pro to the 5X Pro for Saturn N64 and plus PlayStation 1 S video.
Probably not, unless you're playing games with a lot of resolution switching. But like, if you're mostly talking,
are you saying you wouldn't go? I think they're asking if it's worth upgrading their.
Observe the map transitions. Is it worth upgrading if you're primarily playing N64, PS1, Saturn? I think was the question, right? Oh, it did drop there a little bit. This is different from a resolution switch. I don't know exactly what this game does. But, see, my capture card is saying no signal, but if you saw that on your TV, it would most likely just go black for a second. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that, when I was testing this earlier, it was just on my monitor. And it just went black. You know, like, and it came back right away. But my capture card is saying no signal. Obviously, you're not going to see no signal if your TV doesn't, you know, bring that up immediately. In my experience, TVs don't do that. So, you know, it takes several seconds of no signal before it says no signal. So you probably wouldn't see that little blip on a TV. You know,
yeah.
And you know, the same thing.
Try out Die Hard Arcade. You have Die Hard Arcade.
I don't.
Right?
It's one of my top priorities for imports for Saturn, but I keep looking for it. But like every time I see something I want, And then I'm like, oh, this seller has other things I want. I always go searching like, oh, can I get Die Hard Arcade? You know, Dynamite Deca. And they don't have it. Or the one time I did see it, it wasn't really a good price. Yeah, you can try. I mean, have you tried it? I thought you did try it.
I haven't. There's 5 pounds from InGen UK once again.
Thank you.
Saying Corey with hair is the best thing I've seen today. Almost as good as the Treasure Special. Oh, come on. Me at 14 years old, 15 years old, it can't be the best thing you've seen all day. There was $2 from Apocalyptic Minister saying, did you actually say VHS? And I did. I did say VHS. VHS works great. I mean, I was amazed. I was amazed that it just, didn't drop at all during that VHS tape. And I mean, I think it kind of does something similar to what the my VHS VCR that has HDMI output. I gotta turn my lights again. Where it just kind of keeps a steady signal, and it puts the video into that steady signal. I don't know if that's like a good terminology for it.
My Saturn is
there's $2 from Ed the Nerd saying, any plans for an updated setup tour? And absolutely. I mean, that's I think I'll do mine right after I do the Mr. video. That'll be my follow-up to the Mr. Of course, there will be Analog Frontiers 4 after the Mr. video. So I guess I'll make it the video after the Mr. video, or after the Analog Frontiers 4, because you're editing that one, and
yeah, the video that you edit.
There was $5 from Brendan Kittle. Thank you. Saying, just hopping in. How well does the 5X fare compare to other upscalers you've used in the past? Definitely enjoy your content and can't wait to get it. I mean, we've seen a lot of evolution over time, and I mean, it's definitely the one to go with.
Right. I mean, it's yeah. I mean,
I think it's important for people to understand that, like, this is not going to make the scaler that you've been using and enjoying suddenly bad,
right?
Either.
I mean, that a lot of people, feel uneasy when new things come out because it's like, oh, I already, this is what I have, but, yeah, I mean, OSSC, if it's working in your setup, it's, it was good a year ago and it's good today and it will continue to be good, just like, and, I always like to equate it to old games. I mean, these old games that we all love to play, they didn't just become bad one day, right? So same thing with hardware. It's still good, but this is, I mean, I would say the most comprehensive scaler to date. Like, the only thing I can think of that it doesn't do is, give you like, some of the more crazy, like fine-tuned scaling that you have with like the FrameMeister. But the motion adaptive deinterlacing, the quicker switching between resolutions and things,
Yeah, but I mean, with the OSSD, you still have the 444 color space, and I like having the VGA input on there because it works really well with like Supergun, which I think is pretty handy. And I mean, on my receiver, right, I have. The first two were always like my main two scalers. So for the longest time, it was OSSC and FrameMeister in case I needed to use them and send them to different outputs, etc. And now it's just the OSSC and the 5X, the TINK 5X. And now the FrameMeister has been relegated to my scaler switcher, which is just like a single switcher that has. Now it has the FrameMeister, it has the GBS, on it, and I guess they had the Tank 2X Pro on there for a long time, but now it's just, I guess it's just those two.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I loaded up this demo disc is because I remember, I can't remember if it was the Framemeister or if it was my TV or just the capture card. I can't remember what the issue was, but this like going in and out of the menu on this demo disc, like it's got a lot of junky sync issues. Like I think it's got a 480i menu. The sync drops like heavily when it goes down, and I just remember like eventually like it was just the Framemeister or the OSSC or something, whatever it was. Like it got to this point where it could no longer even hold on to the signal until I just totally rebooted it. Because it just, whatever junky way this demo disc is programmed to work. So I just thought it'd be interesting to get into it, and then I don't know if I have to reset it to get back to the menu or if it automatically goes back to the menu at some point. But
there was 500 yen from Scruffy Looking RGB.
Scruffy Looking RGB.
Yeah. Saying, you guys are my heroes. Thanks for the top-notch videos. I've learned a lot and enjoy every minute of it. Well, thank you for watching, and I'm glad that you enjoy every minute. I mean, that's a lot of minutes to enjoy.
It's kind of staggering, honestly.
There's $2 from Patrick Working saying, can you feel that triple buffer lag, 1 to 1.5 frames?
Not me, no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some people that will feel it on certain games, but
no. I mean, and right now, by the way, I'm playing on a PVM only because if I had the RetroTINK on my monitor, I would, I wouldn't be able to see the chat or see OBS.
There's $20 from EBGL2.
Oh, thank you.
Saying, I just want to give a shout out to Mike Chi. I accidentally put 2 5Xs in my cart, and when I edited the cart, they were sold out. Mike Chi went out of his way to hook me up when I whined about it on Twitter. I'll never forget that. I mean, it's just Mike, like one of those things.
Mike is such a cool guy. We got to meet him in November 2019. He's such a great guy.
Appear in Analog Frontiers 5.
He will, yeah. Briefly, because we interviewed a bunch of people at that event and did not get much time with any of them, unfortunately.
Right.
But this demo disc isn't even loading back up again. Oops. Well, while I have
the Saturn.
Well, I'm not going to do the Saturn again just yet, but let's do this.
I heard the Dreamcast. I heard that VMU.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I am not going to play much.
You're just like getting all the dead battery systems right now.
Yeah, I am not going to play this very extensively because, if you all recall from my when I was streaming Ratchet Deadlocked, I need to get my 20L5 worked on by Steve sometime. And I haven't had a chance to make that happen. And, so I don't have a 480p capable monitor in here. So I'm going to be looking at OBS to play Dreamcast. So this is using the retro access cable that has like the 15 kilohertz, 31 kilohertz switch.
Right.
That goes to a SCART cable. So in the board I know was designed by Dan Kuntz. So this has a lot of launch games on it. I've not fully loaded up my my GDMU as you can see.
You've not done a lot of that stuff you're talking about. I haven't put anything on your
I know you just like, you love doing that stuff, and I dread it. I hate doing that kind of stuff. I like after like probably 2.5 years of having a new in-box PS TV that I intended to mod, I finally did that like a week and a half ago. Like,
It wasn't even that.
it was like a week ago.
Last
like,
week.
I hate doing that kind of stuff. I hate hacking stuff. I hate hacking stuff. I hate loading up ROMs and ISOs, and I just don't enjoy doing that stuff. And then the RetroTINK, you plug a cable into it and you got a handful of options and it works. That's the kind of stuff I like.
There was $3 from Michael McManaman, saying, "Have you used the 5X to downscale any modern games?" And I mean, I hooked it up earlier today. I ordered a second downscaler or converter, and it would turned out that it was a scaler actually, and I had to order a second one, and that one won't be here until Wednesday. But you know, it does work. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to do it. I did it with component output from the PS3, and I also tried my Vita TV or PlayStation TV with sharp scale. And if you do 1080p or 1080i out, you know, so it fills the screen and play PSP games, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Or not? That's not downscaled, but yeah, that wasn't downscaling. That was actually upscaling because you get 1080p output. I think it might be using Bob for 1080i, if I'm not mistaken, but it's so subtle at that high resolution that you really can't even see it.
I'll check when I.
It looked whatever I was looking at looked pretty neat.
Let's see here. There was $5 from Lee Mustang. Thank you. I missed the chance to get one with the first batch, and I must live vicariously through you guys for a bit. I hope to get one on the next batch. I mean, they sold out pretty quick, but I feel like it wasn't like less than a minute, right?
It was like 7 minutes.
Oh, okay. I don't know how many there were total.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I mean, our Discord was pretty on the ball as soon as it came noontime Eastern yesterday. Quite a few of them bought it.
Let's see here. There's $5 from Kelly. Thank you. Saying contributing so I can be part of history. This is officially your largest stream ever.
I guess it. I mean, it might be. It's not 1,000 anymore, but it's close. Watching me, you know, I am not.
I mean, I think it's gonna be. I think that it's. We're only an hour in. It's 957 right now. They hit 1,009. I mean, the other one I think took a couple hours before it hit.
Yeah. All these people watching me do some low-level SoulCalibur play here.
Okay, so there was $5 from Mega X6 saying, here's to 1,009 viewers. Congrats, dudes. Thank you. I know that was 15 minutes ago now. I think that we will hit 1,009.
It gets hard to keep up sometimes with these super chats. So the time just keeps on passing us by.
There's $5 from Bitspasm. Thank you. Saying I can't wait to break in my 5X when it comes in. What PS2 Tony Hawk should I use to break it in? And I'm gonna say 3. I think the 3 is my favorite Tony Hawk. And now I just heard that who is a Vicarious Visions is like gonna be is like forced on like work on Blizzard games or something like that now. Like so there's definitely not gonna be a maybe even a Tony Hawk 3 DLC.
Huh.
Or the 1 and 2 remake. That's kind of a bummer. But 3 is my personal favorite. There's $2 from Axel Kusanagi. Thank you. Saying, wish I had an HDMI in component out. I mean, they're like just like $20.
Yeah.
The one that I had, it's really funny, is the one that I had and I used for the last video. Try sending me a message saying which transcoder did you use? I'm like, I got it a long time ago, and I looked it up and I got it in 2013.
Wow. What? No.
There's one that if you look at on like Amazon or something like that, there's one by Porta that I guess is good. That's one I just ordered a second.
I think I actually just ordered an extra one too. Because the one I bought had a little noise in it, but I mean, I can still get an idea of what you could do.
Yeah.
It definitely looked pretty good. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw that like Toys for Bob was also sent to work on Call of Duty.
Oh.
That's what you get for making Crash Bandicoot 4, I guess. It's really unfortunate.
I mean, Crash 4 surely did pretty well, I would think.
I think so, yeah. And I think it was pretty well received. Looks like there's not going to be a Crash 5. Let's see here. The Land of Obscusion donated $5 and said, I second the Land of Obstruction comment. What about video or VHD? What about Laserdisc? I could try Laserdisc. I will.
Oh, I forgot you had a Laserdisc player.
Yeah, I have 4 of them. There was $20 in. I'm not sure what it is. It's not yen. Maybe it's Chinese. Maybe I don't know. It just says 20. And there's from Gungeon Chiller with no message.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I understand it was 12 minutes ago though. It might not be here anymore. There was $10 from Axel Kusanagi. Thank you. Saying, I'm still waiting on the OSSC Pro for its all-in-one up and down scaling, rotation, and zooming. Yeah, there's, the OSSC Pro is going to be, it's like the Cadillac, I guess. It's going to have all this stuff, and it's going to be expandable, from what I understand. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty cool. I mean, the Tink 5X is going to is aimed at the people that's like, there's nothing really in like a $300 range right now, I guess. And with the OSSC Pro, it's going to be probably like $500.
I mean, I have no idea what to expect. I think it's going to be probably a lot.
Mm-hmm. But it's going to be, something that's gonna be, like there's gonna be plenty of add-ons and stuff like that you can, and it basically is going to be one scaler that does everything you can probably ever want.
Right. If I remember right, is Composite Nest Video supposed to be like add-ons for it or what? I forget how that was supposed to go.
I don't know.
So as you can see, I thought we'd do a little composite action.
All right.
I Unfortunately, the way I have things run right now, I can't get sound the way I have it run for Composite at the moment. It would have been too much hassle to get it. And I'm playing in my PVM in black and white. But it was the easiest way. It was the easiest way to just be like, okay, well, I should show Composite at least once during this stream.
Okay, so there was a $5 from Potbelly Punch. Thank you. Saying, do I need a component a switch box? I'm okay with unplugging cables. Is it harmful to any devices? There's no cheap options as far as I know. There's like a 3-to-1. It's like $20. It's a mechanical one, and it's pretty good.
I mean, mechanical switches, like I'm actually honestly kind of more on board with them. After we did that switchers episode, like I before then I thought like, oh, unpowered switchers are junk. But then I like, a lot of these just like cheap mechanical switchers, like, the ones that you would just buy at GameStop or whatever, a lot of them are not bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it would break down a little bit if you were trying to push like, 720p or 1080i through them or something. But like for SD stuff and probably 480p stuff, like I was not noticing any tangible quality loss in the ones that I tested. So yeah, I would not be afraid of just getting a relatively inexpensive mechanical switcher. As long as you're using good cables to connect it, because we found not that long ago, some not great results with just some component cables that we thought were good that we were using as like outputs from switchers, and we discovered they were like really degrading the signal, and we bought like 3 of those just like male to male HD Retrovision cables, which did make an improvement. So just a little.
What's cool, what's really interesting is that with if you're using HD Retrovision cables, you can use splitters and plug 2 into 1 port, and it doesn't affect the video quality. They've been wired in a way that prevents like any quality degradation.
So, the difference might not be like hugely noticeable, but like the main option for Composite is the filter. So if you switch back and forth, the comb filter generally looks better for NES, and the notch filter might look a little better for Genesis, but generally speaking, if you are using Composite, my Tink is turned at a funny angle, so it's hard to hit it with the remote. Generally the 4-line comb, and I would say just about the best Composite, between this and the 4Xs. I mean, in some ways the 2Xs, the 2X devices, in some ways those are almost maybe better for Composite, because they're just, it just kind of softens it.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tried this. Let's look at the 256 sampling for Composite. How does that look?
There's $2 from Shadow Mask. Thank you. Saying, is it possible to adapt the VGA through SCART input? And I think that Mike Chi showed something on his Twitter of like, it was like an adapter.
He made like an open source VGA to SCART like a year ago, but I asked him about it the other day, and he said he didn't really have any plans to turn it into an actual product. But that was one of the reasons I wanted to show my how I have my Dreamcast hooked up with that retro access cable.
Right.
Those it works really good.
There's $50 Sorry it took so long. Sorry. It just
Oh,
took me
wow. Thank you.
$50 from Mike Golf. Thank
Mike
you.
Golf?
Mike Golf. Saying watched for a long time, wanted to show some appreciation. Any recommendations for a 27 to 30 inch CRT? I mean, I really like my Toshiba, and I had a like more of a bubble screen Toshiba that I liked a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the
I've only had Toshibas.
Toshibas.
They have component.
Yeah.
In my life,
you know, a lot of people in the PVM land, you know, you've got like the 2030s and the 2025s? Is that or am I getting the number? You know what I'm talking about? Those big black ones with the handles. I'm drawing. I might be saying the model number wrong, but
it's the 2030s. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
those. Yeah, they're a lot bigger than most PVMs, you know, but I don't think they're necessarily.
They're generally like 20 inch.
Yeah, but even though they're bigger, I think, you know, they tend to be a little cheaper. They're not as high fidelity as, you know, like the 20 inchers, but, you know, in part because they're kind of older. But, you know, the reason people like them, of course, is for their size.
There's $4.99 from Old School Gamers saying, does a RetroTINK 5X have more compatibilities with TVs and capture cards versus the OSSC? It's my biggest beef with the OSSC and reason for wanting the RetroTINK 5X.
Well,
I mean, I've heard that it surprisingly works with a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, I think it should work with basically everything because you've got several fallbacks. You've got the the triple buffer mode, and you've got three variations of 1080p. You've got there are three output modes for 1080p. There's a 4x mode, a 5x mode, and a mode where you where it's scaled like I think like 4.5, but it uses interpolation, so you don't have like any perceptibly uneven pixels. So basically, if you have triple buffer mode on and one of the three 1080p modes, like I have a hard time imagining anything's not going to accept that. Especially because like with the OSSC, you didn't have the fallback of the buffering. So even if you were using, I forget how the 1080p modes work on the OSSC. It's been a while. Like I forget if is there a 4x 1080p mode or is there not? Is it only like 1080p 5x? Is that I forget exactly how it works. But I see Warren Hoagie saying that vertical scrolling shimmer. I mean, there should not be any shimmer caused by the scaling. Remember, I'm playing in composite here, so you know composite shimmers. That's what composite does. And two, it might be, you know, I'm streaming in 1440p. You know, it might be how your screen is scaling it too. But trust me, there's no shimmer caused by the scale in this case. But yeah, so I mean, I don't think I think that's the whole thing. Like, I don't think if you were skittish about the OSSC or the OSSC didn't work well with your stuff, you know, the RetroTINK 5X has, you know, several fail safes that the OSSC doesn't, you know, to ensure compatibility. Yeah. Corey on the way back.
Yeah, I'm back. All right.
Because I was going to go and jump ahead to some of the ones that popped up, but I didn't want us to get out of order. So I'm going to switch to something else.
There's 5 Brazilian reals from Caio Jose Samaha Zubak. Thank you. Saying, hola from Brazil, guys. Would you guys say that the RetroTINK is the ultimate 480i deinterlacer, or is there another option for us PS2 lovers? I think that it is the ultimate solution that is readily available now.
I mean, I kind of feel like it is the ultimate solution because I don't think we've ever had. I mean, I haven't seen motion adaptive deinterlacing that looked particularly any better than what it does, and not with virtually no lag. That's the key. I mean, you know, there were a lot of back in the day. There were a lot of. I need to switch it off of composite so that we get color. You know, I mean, you know, back in the day, there was a lot of deinterlacers, you know, by companies making like home theater stuff, but like those are going to be laggy. I mean, this has like 2 milliseconds of lag on motion adaptive deinterlacing, so I don't think there's anything that's anywhere near comparable to that, to my knowledge. Certainly that you can buy now, and that also, you know, makes it a good looking upscale too, you know? Because I'm, you know, right here we're looking at PS2, and we're doing motion adaptive deinterlacing to 1440p. So it's integer scaling motion adaptive deinterlaced with like 2 milliseconds of lag. Like, what else has gotten? I mean, nothing available yet does that. And I don't think anything will do that for a lower price anytime remotely soon.
Before you start a game, Paul Bergkamp wants you to look through your memory card blocks. In the meantime,
it's too late.
Why? There's 14, I think, Australian dollars from Samuske the Courteous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, love your work as always. Finally got an RGB mounted N64, and now I can retire my mechanical composite switcher I've been using for 15 years. It served me well. I mean, there's a lot of people who say that the composite is the way to go for N64.
I mean, it's the least bad looking composite, I think.
Yeah.
I have not. I played a little bit of this game the other day just because
water is the original.
Huh?
I love the water in.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'd never popped this in before until the other day.
But I mean, it might not be impressive now, but at the time it was impressive.
I mean, I think it still looks. I mean, these games have some of the cleanest image quality on the entire PS2 library, so that's just why I wanted to pop it in, because like, if I remember right, it's like multi-sampled or oversampled. Well, I'm drawing a blank on the term, but you know, when it is 720p, you know, rendered out as 480. You know, so I mean, it's just super clean looking.
We were ambushed by
there's $4.99 from Show.
Oh,
thank you. Saying I'm getting some 8x7 art made for a shirt. Fair warning. Oh man,
you know,
people were talking about the 8x7 stuff like all week long.
I feel like that was like 2 weeks ago, that rant.
Yeah.
No, you know, what's in, you know, I've decided like I'm going to turn that into a video. I'm going to, just because I mean I would like to learn even more about aspect ratios. You know, I was talking to Firebrand X about it afterward. So here's the interesting thing. 8.7 is the overall resolution of the Super Nintendo frame, right? When you're using just square pixels. But, and I think that's what most people, when most people talk about 8.7, I think that's what they're talking about. But the aspect ratio of an individual pixel, coincidentally, is 8.7. But that is if you are viewing it at 4.3. So,
I hope everyone's happy.
Yeah, so you do want it set for 8.7 individual pixels, which is 4.3. But 8.7 overall frame is, I would say incorrect. But, you know, I remember one of my video professors back in the day. This has always stayed with me. You know, I don't know if this is like a common saying or anything, but you have to learn the rules in order to be allowed to break the rules, right? You know, you don't have to follow the rules of, you know, video framing and editing and scene composition and all of that 100% of the time. But you need to know the rules so that when you do break the rules, you have an informed reason for doing so. You know? Right. So you have to know the rules to break the rules well, in other words. So if you want to play games in square pixels, fine, but you need to understand why you're doing that and why it is not how, you know, the aspect ratio that was used back in the day. So I really want to turn that into a video. I think, you know, people like Firebrand X and Risha like really know a lot. I was talking to Risha a little bit last week too.
And you want to, we were saying you should release it on August 7th.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It'd fly over the heads of everyone that doesn't live in the U.S. though. But I wouldn't be able to get it done in time for July 8th. I mean, I just don't think that's realistic because I won't do it unless Analog Frontiers is done. I'm making an exception for RetroTINK 5X just because it's so important and timely. Man, this is a good looking game, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta catch up some more here. There's $4.99 from Paul Sutton. Thank you. Saying, speaking of PlayStation TV, hooked up to an Xbox R960 this week. Is that the XBR960? Oh, sorry. I thought it was Xbox something. Like, is that another name for like an Xbox VCR? An XBR this week, and gosh darn, sharp scale 1080i makes it look amazing. Yeah, the 1080i is pretty impressive. I mean, one of the reasons I got this other TV that I wanted to be able to use it with interlace stuff, because, you know, computer monitors generally don't have any don't support any interlaced resolutions. So I got a TV that would, and but now it doesn't.
Look at this water. It's so weird looking in this light,
but yeah, I mean, I think the PS TV looks crazy. I mean, what's been your impressions, Try, of having a sharp scale?
I brought it to my parents' house. You know, something that I'm going to turn to a video eventually is, you know, I've been playing around with this old, you know, pretty nice projector from like 2004, you know, that's like 1080i, native 720p resolution. I've been playing around with that in this room at their house that doesn't have windows. I've been playing around with that for a while, and it's pretty neat. And I brought the hacked PS TV over there, and it 1080i just looks incredible on it. It's really kind of opened my eyes to. I think it's going to be one of the neat things about the Pixel FX Morph is that it has a HDMI input. If I remember correctly, I think it does, or it's slated to anyway. You know, while all we have is just kind of the info sheet for it so far, right? But it has an HDMI input, and I feel like it's so important going forward that we have good ways to treat 720p and 1080i because, you know, I've tried like PS3 stuff on, I've tried PlayStation TV on it, and it looks 720p is getting to the point where scaling up to 4K without using nearest neighbor is really kind of doing, I think, a lot of harm to the art. I mean, I know like logically it makes sense to do a smoother scale of HD stuff, but when you see how each individual pixel just sits in its nice little spot on a native 720p projector, Like the image quality just looks cleaner. It just looks cleaner. So I don't know.
Now that you got this monitor, I feel like your whole thing is going to be getting like native resolution monitors for every resolution you want to use.
I know. I mean, that might have been part of what made me think like, oh man, if like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have cared if it wasn't the fact that you could get both, like 1440p accommodates both 240p and 480p and 480i. Like this game just looks so crisp. It's just so good looking.
There's $2 Canadian from Vibe Mecha saying, "Is this an upgrade, downgrade, or side grade to the OSSC?"
I mean, I guess depending on how dedicated you are to, like the optimized scaling modes on the OSSC, like, you know, obviously you could do things with that are not currently programmed into the optimized modes on the Tink 5X. You know, like I've established, I don't care that much about optimized modes. But I mean, in most ways, I would say overall upgrade. I mean, especially because I mean, you know, the emotion adaptive deinterlacing. As far as I have seen, like the quality of the conversion is equal. Like the quality, like I'm not getting like more like noise or anything.
Right. I mean, I think that the color space, you know, probably for some people, like will be a big deal though. You know, 444 versus 422.
Well,
I mean,
I think there's some confusion about that. It is. I mean, I would have to double check with Mike, but if you check the manual, it's 422 for 720p and 1080i. The others are full color bandwidth. So 240p, 480i, 480p, those are 444.
I'd have to
check the manual. It says that exactly. It says full color bandwidth for 240p, 480i, and 480p. There was some confusion about that in the Discord.
If you're outputting in those modes, probably. If you're outputting those modes.
What do you mean outputting them?
If you're outputting to, like, at 480p or something like. Forget it.
No. Those were the input. Well. I mean, I am not positive, but I'm pretty sure, like, you know, like, so like limited range, right? Limited range and full range. Those is, as far as I understand, if something is limited range or full range, that means you're doing RGB output over HDMI, right? And RGB by nature is 444. You have to be now YUV can be 444, but it could be 422 or 420. But RGB has to be.
Okay, so yeah, Adam's A is great. So capture is 444, processing output is 422.
Okay.
That's what I had heard as well. Because that's what Bob talked about in his video.
Oh,
did you watch Bob's video?
I didn't have a chance yet, and in part I almost don't want to watch it because I don't want to like accidentally say some of the same things he does. But I finished the script now, so I should probably watch his video. But,
so you know,
for me though, I don't think, especially if you are using interpolation. You're not going to see, you know, because that's actually something that, like, when I was using when we were doing the video on the Mega SG, I noticed that one of my capture cards was not doing 444 because I had some weird anomalies when I was using integer scaling without interpolation, but you couldn't see those anomalies when you were on 4.3 with interpolation, like, you know, that 422 output. So So like I feel like you can't really see that, in my opinion. Maybe if you're inputting like a PC signal with like text or something, at like, PC text size, maybe it would be a problem. But I think generally, I don't think that would be a problem. But for some people it could be, especially people that might be obsessive about the optimized sampling. But for us, I don't think it's a problem. I think that would be a problem for a very niche subset, in my opinion. I mean, I use my PS4 Pro in 420 because it gives me
I know.
drops.
I see it. Cornhokey, I know. I gotta get back on it because we were talking about we're very far behind still. We got caught up. Okay. There was $5 from Robert Carlson, who shares the same name as my grandfather.
Oh yeah.
Saying, Corey, I learned this on the Yuden Chronicle Discord that Yoshitaka Murayama of Suikoden fame is likes American football and his favorite team is the Buffalo Bills.
How about that?
That's pretty cool. I would not expect that. I wonder why. Okay, so there's $2 for love of the game, saying slaving away in the code mine, the fate of Act Blizz. Oh, okay, you're talking about the what should we call it? The Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions, having to do all that stuff like for Activision. That sucks. Sorry, I'm 30 minutes behind on donations. There's $7.77 from Seven Kurgan.
Oh.
Again, if all possible for MLiG RTX 5X RT RetroTINK 5X video research. If in Final Fantasy Origins, can you check if it solves the resolution switch in the art gallery? My ears will thank you.
Does it make a loud noise? Final Fantasy Origins on PS1?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I beat that version. I don't think I have my save anymore, sadly though. Do you have to beat the game to have access to the art gallery?
I don't know. Someone's saying the game audio is really loud here.
Yeah, this game is much louder than the other games.
Don't you just feel about this game like the announcer? He just sounds like the friendliest guy. You ever think about that?
Fallout.
There's $2 from Warren Hokie saying, curious how the Game Boy interface looks on the RetroTINK.
Ooh, I actually have not tried that. I guess I could.
Right now.
Let me beat my 10 levels of Monkey Ball.
Right.
This is one of my favorite 1080 or 480i only games on the GameCube for sure.
Let's see here. Going back, there's $2 Australian from Jay Russell's Retro Gaming channel. Saying, "G'day guys. Well, the 5X works with the Elgato HD60S. We don't have any Elgato cards to check it with, but I'm betting that it does.
Yeah, like I say, you've got 3 variants of 1080p modes plus a frame buffer. Like I just find it very hard to believe that there's going to be any serious incompatibilities.
Yeah.
Because you have to remember the reason that OSSC and RetroTINK sometimes have trouble with Elgatos and various displays and other capture cards is because they don't like either the 960p or 1200p or a 4.3 version of 720p or something like that. Whatever oddball signals they might be outputting. I don't really know all the specs, but plus the fact that they are completely beholden to the output refresh of the console, which they just might not be programmed to accept. So the fact that on this you've just got these very normal 1920 by 1080p resolutions with a frame buffer you can turn on, like that is almost definitely, it should be as compatible with everything as the analog consoles, the Super NT and stuff, because the frame buffer works in a very similar way to the frame buffers in those.
There's $5 for Love of the Game. Going 30 minutes ago when you're playing Contra, saying $5, but you have to emulate the Contra sound effects or music with your voice. If it was still happening,
that's my attempt at Spreadshot, and I don't think I'm really nailing it.
There's $4.99 from a 74 Vid Gamer. Saying, any chance you can test Virtua Fighter 4 on the PS2? I've been 100% satisfied with how it looks running through a frame. I've never been 100% satisfied with how it looks running through a frame meister. I'll put that in. I have it, so I'll put it in.
I don't have it. One thing about that game, I'm pretty sure that's one of the games that has the Japanese version was made on earlier development kits that
there's a second, there's the Greatest Hits version,
right? Okay, so it's one of those games that has an early version that has extremely jagged field rendering, and then
I only have the VF4 Evolution.
Okay, and then a later version, I think Tekken Tag Tournament and Dead or Alive are similar, where the Japanese version that came out first just has less information in its back buffer or something like that.
Paul Sutton is saying, has Monkey Ball been as good as the GameCube pair? The first one's still the best one.
Oh yeah,
by a large margin, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's so efficient, so simple and efficient.
Yeah.
And the other ones add too much stuff. Like I don't need a story mode for one thing, and it just seems like a lot of
levels are way too complicated.
Well, yeah, and there's always it feels more like luck than anything.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was hang on. $5 from Scott Linux. Thank you. Saying, how does the TINK 5X compare to analog consoles doing 5X scaling?
I haven't directly compared, but I mean, I would imagine.
I mean, the analog is going to be maybe slightly better just because it's a pure
digital. Yeah, but the quality of the actual scaling, I would imagine to be pretty similar. I was thinking about just throwing a random comparison like that into the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I definitely thought about it. But yeah, I mean, the analog to digital conversion is so good. I mean, as long as you've got like a good cable and your system, isn't outputting like a lot of noise. I mean, stuff like jail bars, you're going to see jail bars if you don't, like I don't have like a triple bypass or anything like that installed in my Genesis. I never got the jail bar fix on my PC engine. So there's going to be stuff like that you wouldn't get with a pure digital signal. I really want to try out the 5X modes on the Mister too. I have not gotten around to that yet. But yeah.
There's $4.99 from Bit Deep. Thank you. Saying, waiting on a brand new calibrated Trinitron 20-inch M4U to replace my busted N6U. Been following your guys forever. We'll be here when you hit 1 million. Well, I don't know if that's gonna.
Don't count on that. I wouldn't say.
Yeah. I
mean, let me grab the supplies I need to do Game Boy interface. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I think my I think the stuff I need is downstairs probably. Give me a second. I never installed one of those little dance things that you put in the bottom of the system to load. I never got that installed in this system up here, so hang on.
Okay. Let's see here. There is $5 from Steven the Cicada. Saying, Corey, we're running behind schedule. We have to move our appointment to next week if that'll work. Were they supposed to arrive this week? Were the Cicada supposed to arrive this week? I mean, I don't know exactly the day that it's supposed to happen, but I think maybe it's just gonna. I mean, it'll be a surprise, and then like, I'll understand what my vision of being in hell is. Probably be cicadas. I guess we'll see. Anyways, there's $5 from Joshua Helmicky saying, Mark, your 8.7 rant will become a meme. I think we should auto-tune it. It should be like, all right, listen up. I've never seen him get that riled up about anything. Did you hear me? Try? Maybe not. I heard him bumping the mic.
Huh? What?
I know that. I'm trying to keep up. I'm way behind. I'm starting to catch up though. They're gonna. Josh Helmick says they want your 8.7 rant to become a meme so they can, and someone should auto tune it.
I mean, I'd love to see them try if they can make anything as good as going to do a clap that Dave did. Going to do another clap.
There's $5 from Brandon K. Turner, who didn't have a message, but thank you. Even though it was 18 minutes ago, but thank you. There's $5 Canadian from John Mahoney, saying, wouldn't 480i tripled to 1440p be a potential great fit for 8K TVs, as 1440p integer scales to 8K?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would be. I mean, 8K is going to be that golden thing when finally everything will. By the way, I have to apologize if Extremes is in the chat.
Like upgrading our stuff by that point.
I have to apologize to Extremes because I've not used GBI in a while. So these are definitely pretty out of date. So.
There's $5 from Axel Kusanagi, saying, does anyone know if the OSSC Pro will be able to downscale anything higher than 480p? I bet it will. At least 720p. But I feel now that the RetroTINK can do 720p, like the gauntlet has been thrown, so they're gonna go for 1080p now.
This version is not working. I mean, it's not working on my PVM either because I think it's 480p. Or is this the one that's like 360p or something weird like that? Yeah. Might be something to think about adding. Although I don't. Again, I know Extremes changes this stuff a lot, or at least in the past he's changed this stuff a lot. Where like, I don't even know what the current set of Game Boy interface. I have to confess, I don't know what the current set, like what they even do. So let's try another one.
Okay. Anyways, there's $2 from from Orn Hokey saying you guys are the best gaming channel on YouTube. Well, thank you. I mean, there's a lot of really good gaming channels. You know, my son is obsessed with log.zip. I mean, I wonder if we're better than log.zip.
I don't know what that is.
It's just a guy who plays.
Actually, you know, I wonder if I loaded the XRGB version of the high fidelity, if it would work. Because the OSSC one, I think, was designed. There you go. The OSSC one was designed for a mode that only it can even do.
There's $9.99 from Jebediah saying you guys are one of the coolest channels on YouTube. You've done an amazing job bringing information and truly enjoyable content to the masses over the years. Keep on being the best in the game. I don't know if I'd call us the coolest.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that I was talking about this in the Discord earlier, and I responded to this message also, in the directly to the comment. But there was a comment on the downscale video saying like, look at this boomer here. I'm thinking, I was confused. I'm like, is boomer just like a term for anybody who is like in a generation that is like before, like was before the one that you're from, that, like, you know, the person saying it is from?
And they were saying in the Discord, they were saying yes.
That is true. So it's like anybody essentially. So is it just like anybody who is like older than,
like tangibly older than you?
Yeah, because I mean, the idea of me being a boomer is
laughable.
Yeah, well, I mean, my parents were.
Yeah.
Oh, you should try to 1080p over mode to see if this fills more of the screen.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
See, so you know,
I don't think that's.
Uzi Rayburn is saying, sorry, Generation X is boomer now, but not. I mean, come up with a different name then instead of saying boomer, because like, you know, boomer is the baby boomer generation, or maybe that's a is that a boomer thing to say? And I'm technically not even Generation X. I'm like right in between. I was saying that my generation, I was born in 1978, and it's like right in between Gen X and millennial. And I've heard that I've heard them say that something around the lines of 1977 to 1980 is considered to be like Xennial.
I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah,
because
how is Generation X? How is Gen X boomer when there are boomers?
So here are the resolutions, but keep in mind, see here's the issue. But
I think millennial is 1983 or something.
All right, so
1980 is millennial.
So keep in mind here as I'm scaling this, you know, that is not, you know, my capture card is currently set to be recording 1440p, which is 1920 by 1440 specifically, which is a 4.3 output. And that's one of the reasons that it might be somewhat less compatible, because it's 4.3 1440p. And obviously it's 4.3 just because I would imagine the device doesn't have the bandwidth to do a full frame output.
Right.
At that high of a resolution. I mean, the thing's called the RetroTINK 5X, so I imagine the 6X mode is almost like hacked into it. But it works great in my setup. Keep in mind that I had to stretch this out, so the pixel integrity might not be exactly what it's supposed to be just because of how I'm streaming, but just to get an idea of the sizing. Obviously GBA games are going to be kind of small, So there's the film mode. Film mode is what is default, and that's actually, I think, a 4.5x scale of 240p,
Right.
which uses vertical interpolation to keep it smooth. So, you know, it looks great and it fills more of the screen. So then this is the over mode. As you can see, GBA is still pretty small here. And then the under mode is of course, very small. So there's 1200p, which is like, 1200p actually has some pillar boxes. It's sort of a semi-widescreen resolution, I think. But your TV should sort it out correctly if it does accept it. But yeah, so now we're going, let's go back to 1440p, since that is what the capture card is expecting to be reading.
Let's see here. There is a $2 from James Boone saying, "Love the shirt, Corey. Their podcast is great." Yeah, we met. I got this shirt when we were at the Missouri. Yeah, because they were there also, and they gave me this shirt. It's super comfortable. Super comfortable. There is a $5 from a James Thomas. Thank you. Saying, I've got my PS2 on HD retrofitting component cables on the original RetroTINK with my 5X on the way. Am I going to notice the upgrade? Thanks, y'all. Huge fan. I think you're going to notice a big upgrade.
With what? Compared to what?
With using a PS2.
Oh, huge. I mean, PS2, I mean, is I would say the system that benefits the most. PS2 and PS2, PS1, Saturn, N64. Those are probably the systems. Like, you're really not getting much of an upgrade for, you know, your RGB modded NES, your one chip SNES, Sega Genesis. Systems like those, you're not really getting an upgrade, I would say. But that generation for sure. I mean, nothing has done 480i well since the FrameMeister, and this does it, I would say, better than the FrameMeister. Outputs at a higher resolution than the FrameMeister if you have the equipment to support it, and it doesn't have the weird noise that the FrameMeister has. I mean, again, not to say anything bad about the FrameMeister. The FrameMeister is still great if you have one, but new stuff comes along and this deinterlaces better, so, or at least cleaner for sure and faster. So
there was $5 from Zach Fisher. Thank you. Saying, how do you like it compared to the FrameMeister and OSSC? I ordered the 5X with high hopes. Hopefully it ships out soon. I mean, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. I mean, I think that it's, if you have either one of those, I mean, you're going to notice improvements in a lot of areas, and it's just, I think it's going to be easier to use and just kind of plug in and go. Although, one of the things I do like the OSSC is very easy just to plug it in and go.
If you don't use optimized modes, we don't use optimized modes. So the OSSC, all you have to do is flip it on and then hit the button to cycle through the inputs till you get to the one that you
right.
That you
and you're
want.
gonna have the same similar situation with this.
Right. Like once you have it set the way you want, the only thing might be, occasionally if you're playing a game where,
in a lot of ways, it's kind of like the two devices mixed into one.
It really is. It's like, it very much is. I mean, it's a device that, looks at, the things the FrameMeister could have done better. The things the OSSC could have done better. Or the things maybe not could have done better, but what it lacks because of its design, the way it is meant to work. And, the fact that it doesn't have like the lower end signals and stuff available in it, just it kind of looks at, it really is a merging of those devices. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, is reflected in its price. You know what I mean? Where it's more expensive than the OSSC, but less expensive than even the FrameMeister was. Yeah, like when it was
right at 300 when we got it, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
I'm going to not be able to use my PVM in this one because I just wanted to plop this in since it's one of the best looking video games ever made.
Hang on, I'm way behind again here. Let's see here. I know an old. There's $10 from Steve Lyons. Thank you. Saying I know an old LCD TV's the VGA input bypasses the TV's processing and has less lag. Does the same apply to HD CRTs with VGA input? Oof, I have no idea.
Say that again.
I know that on old LCD TVs, the VGA input bypasses the TV's processing and has less lag.
I don't know.
Does the same apply to an HD CRT with VGA input?
I mean, I've been wondering the same thing about. I've been wondering the same thing about like that projector that I was talking about earlier.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. On my old HD CRT, I had a DVI input.
You gotta be. Oh, I thought you were gonna be the. My favorite is the octopus guy.
In F-Zero X, I like Leon and Black Shadow. Like, and this one I like McCloud. Little Wyvern. I don't know, just like how it feels. This one I'm playing off of the capture, off of OBS, so I probably will not do super good.
There was 100, I assume, Mexican pesos.
Thank you,
Robbie Sorio. Thank you. Saying 8.7 is the cicada of aspect ratios.
I saw in the when you and Chris did your stream, I saw in our Discord channel someone posted a screenshot of the donation from Steven the Cicada. It said, "See you in a week, Corey."
Yep.
Just seems like such a good-natured cicada, you know?
Yeah.
Steven the Cicada.
But Steven's only one of billions.
Well,
so
he's making time to see just you, though.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were doing that stream, and like I like tuned in. It was like 1:30 or something.
I know we go way too late every time, and it's always really fun. But I am really tired the next day. It's almost like a hangover in a way.
When I tuned in, y'all were talking about poop knives.
Yeah. Let's see here. There was hang on, I keep on losing it. There was $5 from President Roy Camacho. Thank you. Saying I will start playing PS1 games. Should I buy a PS1 and modded with an HDMI or a PlayStation Classic and also modded? Which one would have a better experience? I gotta be honest, like I don't even know if I've never even played my PlayStation 1 Classic this time.
I mean, I played it one time. I mean, the 50 hertz will make.
Is the stream dead?
Oh,
it's spinning.
It shot down to 0 kilobits per second for a moment there.
Is it coming back? Oh, geez, it looks like it's back.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming back. It looks like it's stabilizing. Like it looks like it's shooting a bunch of.
You're sending it 300 more Ps than I was expecting.
Yeah, it like shot way up. Now it
Or
shot
200
back down.
420 Ps more than they're expecting.
It's hanging at 0 right now. I mean, our call hasn't dropped.
It hasn't.
People are saying seems to be good now because it was hanging at 0 for a while there.
Okay.
My icon is still red though.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean, it looks like it's going now? I mean, it looks like
it's going. It doesn't look like it's 60 FPS.
Well,
this game is too graphically impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of the best looking video games ever made.
Yes.
Like, it holds true to this day.
Let's see. There was $5 from Chad Wolf saying, "Is the OSSC Pro going to fix the resolution swap issues? Makes a lot of games that I like to play really unplayable." I'm sure that is at the top of their priority list.
I mean, obviously this does that. I'm pretty sure that is an intended feature of the OSSC Pro, but I don't know all the particulars off the top of my head.
There's $2 from Shadow Mask. Thank you. Saying, does the RetroTINK 5X send a proper 4.3 to a 1600 by 1200 VGA monitor?
1600 by 1200?
Yeah. I don't think so.
I am
like 1200p. I think is
1200p is like 1920 by 1200. I think.
Kind of like
so. It's like kind of in between. So if you have the see on this monitor, this 1440p monitor, I had to.
You had to set it to.
I had to set it to. Well, I had to go in and say original resolution.
Right. I mean, that's what you should always do is just keep it on original.
Keep it on original, and so then it does it correctly. So check if you have sizing settings like that, because like the default was to stretch it for whatever reason on a computer monitor. Why would it do that? Yeah. So definitely, I mean I was a little, when I first looked it up, I was a little nervous. I was like, oh, if it doesn't, then I might have to return it. But it did do it. It did have that original screen size setting in there. So I forgot that there's actually 1200p monitors. Like it's not a resolution people talk about much anymore. I don't think, outside of like the OSSC has been my main usage of 1200p. But 1440p people talk about, like people really like 1440p in general, I think, because it's cheaper, you can get more performance out of PC games, from a 1440p monitor than if you were pushing all the way for a 4K monitor or something like that. There's a lot of people that really have a lot of affinity for 1440p, and I wasn't too interested until I had a scaler that could, output to that natively, and I'm like, well, now I want that.
There's $1.99 from Gaming Blows saying, "Prism on the RetroTINK, please."
Wow.
Maybe I'll have to add that to my list of things to capture for you.
Yeah. I don't have it. Shamefully, I do not have it, so Corey would have to get it. Let's blow up. I forget what blowing up looks like in this.
There's $5 from Jerome Lone. Thank you. Saying, looks like the classic console and arcade gaming show in Cleveland is on this year. Will you guys be there? So you're talking about CCAG. I went there. God, it must have been like 6 years ago now. I went there with the 8-bit Duke. And I have not been back since. I mean, I would like to, but is it gonna be in June? I don't know when it's gonna be. It might be tough to make it during the early summer months. There's also $3 from Michael. Thank you. Saying, I just remembered Mark came by one day and grabbed food from my last, and I'm still kicking myself for not saying hi.
Food from
big fan of the channel. and love the videos. Keep up the good work.
I grabbed food from what
restaurant, Michael? What restaurant was it? What is it? What's the one I really like? Showmeyer's? Is that the one? I like the.
Yeah, the American Greek fusion. Yeah. No, what? Grab. You said grab food from what?
It said that Michael said that you came by one day and grabbed food from my last. I assume from my last job.
Oh.
While I wait for Michael, if he's still in the chat.
Curious find out what restaurant it might have been, or if it was a case of mistaken identity.
There's also $2 from Joshua Helmicki saying chanting prism. Maybe.
So something I wanted to do with this game. I am curious how the scan lines work on the stream. Do they?
Oh yeah.
Because so what's interesting, it does not have super robust scan line, like detailed scan line like settings. It's only got 3: polyphase 50%, polyphase 9%, and integer 100%. Right. Integer is going to look bad at non-integer scales. This is an integer scale, but it may not translate. See, I'm looking at it at OBS. It looks bad in OBS because of the way it's scaled on my screen. But polyphase is kind of meant, it's kind of similar to the interpolation where it's supposed to look good even at non-integer sizing. So I'm curious if it works. I mean, it's obviously going to be darker. I don't know if it might be possible to add in a firmware update, like maybe some compensation for the scan line settings, but right. I think they do look good. I think they look pretty good.
Because that's something like the OSSC has, you can do like hybrid scan line type things with that.
Right. Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm almost caught up here. There's $5 from Rad Ranger.
Thank you.
Saying a cool showcase of the RetroTINK 5X. Enjoying the stream. Well, it's just cool to see different stuff here. There's skipping ahead one. There's there was $2 from Neon Rush saying, "How's the 5X scanline filter?" Well, hopefully you're still watching.
Yeah, that's
here you go.
What we're looking at right now. Did anyone say whether this is holding up for holding up on the stream? I don't know if it's going to work too well on this level here, since this is such a dark level. You're not really going to see the effect, I don't think, on the stream.
There was $5 from Kyosho LP.
Thank you.
Saying, do you think you guys will do a direct comparison of this versus an GBSC AIO, especially the de-interlacing?
That's a good idea. I'll try to add that to my list of items to grab materials for comparisons.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's just too bad I'm not going to be here to help you get some of this stuff.
Yeah,
but, I can get right back on it when I get back.
We're going to get done as quickly as we can. But I mean, we mentioned the GBS, several times.
I would not expect a lot in the video about downscaling. Like there'll be a little bit, but I mean, we're not gonna. We just did a video on it. Like that. It has more to do with just. The specific games a lot of times too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was the fun thing about the downscaling video, is that it was really about the games, and how it varied between games and whether it had the right feel for a CRT,
Let's see here. There's $5 from Steven the Cicada. Again.
Hey!
My chrysalis is dissolving soon, and I think I'm thinking of repurposing the detritus for a credenza. Any suggestions? I don't know what a credenza is. I don't know.
Isn't that a flower or something? So anyway, did anyone say? I mean, can you tell on your end, like if the scan lines hold up on the stream or not? I'm just curious, since that polyphase kind of allows them to scale a little more easily.
But so we were receiving like a little bit of a side message from Mike Chi, who's been watching the stream, saying, explaining the 444 versus 422.
Oh, okay. Read it for us.
The processing pipeline is 422, mainly in the sense that there are 2 Luma samples per chroma sample. This makes things like the motion adaptive deinterlacer possible while keeping costs reasonable. However, calling it a 422 device wouldn't be accurate and severely underselling the device. The video ADC actually takes as many of more samples than normal 444 video sampling. So even though the pipeline is 422, there are more chroma samples than even standard 444 video ADCs.
Interesting.
The 422 is in the upscale domain, not the input domain, which means there's no chroma subsampling, which is what the 422 generally refers to.
Right. See, that's why I was saying, like, if you have a choice of full range or limited range output, that means it is 444 to my knowledge. So you are inputting 444 with the exception of 720p and 1080i, and you are outputting 444, I believe. So it sounds like it's a technicality that he couldn't like truly advertise it as it, but I mean, yeah, I think you would be pretty hard pressed to come up with examples where, I mean, maybe I'd have to watch Bob's video if he had any examples in it, but I would be hard pressed to find any example where it would even matter.
He says there's a minor impact in quality, but nothing perceptible outside of blowing up captures or pressing your nose to the TV.
Well, you know, I said that at one point when I was talking about the I wrote that in the script when I was talking about the optimized sampling, like, you know, and why I'm happy with generic 4:3, because it keeps it a absolute 4:3 aspect ratio. And like, really, can you see the sharpness distance when you're like actually sitting back and like playing the game? Like, you know, you're playing it, the screen's moving, like you are not going to see that minuscule difference in sharpness. I just don't think I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, some people are, you know, all about those optimized modes, but I'm glad that that the RetroTINK gives you the choice of doing it without effort, or at least without significant effort, you know, because like on the OSSC, I never saw a reason to be like, you know, I could do this and it would be a lot of effort, but it also wouldn't be exactly 4:3 anymore either. So like, it just seems like a lot of trouble to do something that is ultimately not giving you the correct aspect ratio. But the RetroTINK just hands it to you, you know?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Classic Gaming Quarterly says, what about those of us who play our games by pressing our nose up to the TV? I'm too busy pressing the buttons.
Pressing the buttons with your nose. Wii U gamepad or something.
And neither of us knew what a credenza was. Sorry, I mean, I don't know. There's a reason.
It's not a flower?
I think it's a shell, probably.
I mean, credenza is definitely a word I've heard, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I don't know my bug terms.
Let's keep it that way.
See, there's $5 from Chris Fratz again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Saying by default, the only non-widescreen thing a PC spits out is the BIOS. It's usually drawn for widescreen anyways.
Mm.
Huh.
But you can set all whatever aspect ratio you please on a PC. So it seems silly to me that monitors wouldn't have the option to do that, you know? But anyway, like if you do want to use that 1200p or 1440p mode,
that's right. Speaking of which, thanks Henry Clark for the reminder that today is the last day to vote in the game club in the MLiG Discord which is for supporters, and they have a whole bunch of cool games that they're picking from this month.
For the game club for May. Is it for May, I guess?
Yeah, hang on, let me bring up the list here. It's kind of a crazy good list. There's Ease Book 1 and 2.
The theme is short-ish RPGs.
Yeah, and these are all like pretty great here. Although I don't know if like the last one is short-ish. There's Ease Book 1 and 2 on the, you can play it on the TurboGrafx 16, Wii,
PSP,
console, or PC. Chrono Trigger, which is arguably the greatest RPG ever made. And it is one of the greatest, if not the greatest RPG ever made, and is, 20 hours to do everything.
Yeah.
Which is maybe one of the reasons it's so great. And there's Parasite Eve,
which is the only one on the list that I have not beaten myself, so that's the one I voted for.
And the Trials of Mana remake, which has what's the guy's name, the supernatural enthusiast? What's his name?
Matelo.
I was outside. I was cutting some 2x4s to like build this little trash can fence today, and it just popped in my head. I think it's probably right after I saw the list of games that was on this. And I started thinking about Matelo, the supernatural enthusiast.
Matelo, I'm a ghost.
But it's just a way that he says enthusiast. That's at the end there. Okay, but yeah, everyone should vote on that. I don't know who's winning now. I wonder
when I voted earlier, Parasite Eve was ahead.
Oh wow. I've been telling Classic Gaming Quarterly that he should play through Chrono Trigger, so he's never played it.
Oh my gosh.
And he should stream the whole thing. It's like a thing that it's not a trash can. It's kind of a trash can fence. My wife wanted to build it. It's like this thing that goes on the corner of the house, and you can put your trash bins like behind it so that they don't look like they're just sitting in front of the house all the time. All right. Back to the super chats here. There's $2 from Weird Beard, which is a great name, but there's no message in there. But I like the name Weird Beard.
That is
that's $5 afterwards from Weird Beard.
Oh,
it is a subsequent super chat saying, "Does the RetroTINK handle Silent Hill? Handle the Silent Hill pause screen? You should try Silent Hill.
Why don't we try? I mean, we tested Chrono Cross and it's just fine. I've got Dino Crisis sitting over here, but I'll grab Silent Hill just for you.
There is £5 from Jamie Maxwell. Thank you, saying bank holiday here in the UK, so for once the late night is justified. It was my birthday yesterday. Finally celebrated Christmas with my family. Felt great. Well, congratulations and happy birthday. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, my wife and I just got our second shot on on Wednesday, so we are almost there. I felt that like I didn't have any sound effects at all from the second shot. My wife didn't feel too great for a little while.
My arm felt like someone beat me up for my lunch money. Well,
I mean, yeah, I mean, it hurt a little bit, but it's like
aside from that though, I never felt sick or anything. And it was a lot better the next day.
Really tired, is what happened. She just got really tired from it. There's $4.99 from Paul Sutton saying $4.99. We have to catch up on super chats.
How long ago was that?
11 minutes ago.
Wow. Well, did you all see any drop there? Because I think I'm actually on. I think I'm on frame lock mode, and I did not see a drop even after the PlayStation logo. But I am on. Did you see that? I'm on frame lock mode, and I don't think it dropped or said no signal or anything after the PlayStation logo.
I don't know. I'm looking at these super chats. I haven't even watched the stream.
Okay. And, like, title screen's 480i. Now we're in 240p. Wow, this. I almost feel like this is working even better than Chrono Cross.
Yeah. Let's see here. There's $10 from Jesse Donat. Thank you, saying love the videos.
There was one time it caught it. It caught the capture card. I mean, for like 2 frames, it caught it off guard and said no signal. Again, like on a TV, like it wouldn't say no signal that quickly. That's just my capture card. But if I go put it on triple buffer, now it's on triple buffer.
Triple in that buff.
Look at that. Just for you, Weird Beard. Just for you.
If Weird Beard's still in the chat, I mean, that was a long time ago. Let's see here. There was $10 from Jesse Donat saying, love the videos, wanted to give back. The RGB series completely changed my plans for my game room. It would probably be done by now otherwise. Well, I mean, it might go on forever. I mean, I'm constantly still tweaking here for some reason or another. Maybe has gone past like any reasonable length of time it has taken me to get it right in here. Let's see. There's $2 from Hector Santana. Thank you. Saying, will we be seeing any GTA tonight? Vice City? Do you own any GTA games?
One moment. Let me show you what I do own, if I can find it.
It's like probably like GTA 2 on the PS1, right? Let's see here. While you do that, there was there's $5 from Steven the Cicada again, saying, not gonna lie, I'm actually an entomologist, and your previous rant on hating bugs made me create this.
What?
Like I just dislike how they look in, just when they're flying around.
I do not like. Oh man, what happened with? I must have hit like a button to go back to the Windows. I did not do well around bugs for most of my life, and I still don't do particularly well. But I am not as bad as I was when I was younger. So anyway, what do I have here? I have a PlayStation 2 disk drive. What is inside the PlayStation 2 disk drive? A copy of Liberty City Stories.
Liberty City Stories?
Liberty City Stories. So I don't know. I mean, that's a port of a PSP game, so I don't know if that's exactly the GTA you're looking for, but it's what I got. It's what I got. I can pop it in. Does it look any good? It's not too bad. I can pop it in if you.
Oh, just pop it in.
If you want me to.
I see Retro Mags Brian is asking if I ever did anything with the Herzog's Y artwork that I sent you. I put it like in a frame to get it because it was rolled up, so I flattened it out. But I mean, it's just in a frame, like over around there. It is not like in this area. I mean, most of my wall space, like in this area, is taken up right now. But I definitely plan to put it on the wall.
So, you know,
when I paint it.
So this is obviously, you know, NES RGB. And you can see the, you know, the jitter scan line that's at the top of the screen because NES games often fill the full, you know, 240 lines with color. And as a result, you know, when you can see the top scan line, you will see it do its jitter, which, you know, I didn't even know this until after we released the NT Mini Noir video. That there's a reason for the scanline jitter. So when we did the NT Mini Noir video, I commented in it, I said, for some reason, like it doesn't look as, the composite video output doesn't look as good as the other NT Mini, the original NT Mini. And, you know, one of my favorite things about the original NT Mini was that it kind of mimicked the look of NES Composite very, very closely, and I thought that was kind of impressive. It just had the same characteristics as NES Composite. And so anyways, someone commented that the reason that it didn't look the same was because we had de-jitter turned on in the menu. Which we thought, well, why wouldn't you turn that on? Well, as it turns out, the reason the jitter, I thought, oh, the jitter on NES and Super Nintendo is just a thing that makes it annoying to connect with the OSSC and stuff. It's just there to be a pain in our necks. Well, the reason it's there is because for whatever reason, emitting that short scan line periodically, or every other frame. You know, it does a full scan line and a short scan line every other frame. I think that's how it works. Well, for some reason, doing that actually makes the composite video quality better. So that's why. That's why we have the jitter. And of course, that little, you know, jitter that you can see at the very top of the screen here is something that you wouldn't see. You know, in the overscan, and if in fact, if I had this set for 1080p over mode, you know, this is just doing integer scale to 1440. If it was on 1080p over mode, you wouldn't see that jitter scan line. But you know, it doesn't bother me. It's just part of, you know, it's part of NES to me, even though you wouldn't see it on a CRT. But you know, it has become part of the system to me. I don't really think about it when I see that jitter in line anymore.
Can you beat this game without dying, you think?
You want to see? I don't think I've ever beat it. The last level gets pretty scary. I mean, you want me to see if I can beat it and then
see how far you can get without dying.
I'll see how far I can get without dying. All right. What was the game I was going to try after someone won me?
GTA.
Oh, GTA. Yeah, I'll pop that in. We'll see what happens. I wonder if, you know, since that's such a late game, I wonder if it supports and is like a port of a PSP game. I wonder if it supports 480p.
Okay, well, we'll see. There was $5 Canadian from Owen Brady.
Thank you.
Silent Hill is my favorite game of all time.
Oh wow,
The original though.
It's good. I mean, it's my favorite Silent Hill that I've played so far. I played 3 this past October.
Yeah, so you think that it's better than all of them essentially?
The first one?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that 2 is the fan favorite, but I did not like it as much as 1. I mean, I liked it, but I liked 1 better. I feel like the thing that was so effective about 1 that the others lacked, or at least didn't do as well, was when you're kind of going between the 2 worlds, you kind of have this like you kind of have this period of time where you go through the normal world for a while, then you kind of get this feeling like, oh no, is things about to go crazy, and then like kind of when you least expect it, like you've emerged from some place, and you're like, oh no, we're going to the other world now. And the other games, it kind of felt more, I don't know, it just there wasn't the build up to each sort of time that it turned. Oh, I just died, so
okay,
I guess it's over.
GTA time. There was $5 from Austin the RPG Nut.
Oh, thank you.
I haven't seen that name in a while.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, Try and Corey, how have you guys been? Also, out of curiosity, is there any games you guys think needs more love? Love your guys' streams. Any game that needs more love?
Oh man, I mean, there's probably a lot.
What do you think about Dawn of Mana?
You know,
does it need more love?
I was actually going to put Dawn of Mana on my pile of games to play tonight. Maybe I should play it a little bit after GTA. The only reason I didn't put it on my pile was because I believe I left the memory card that has the save on it at my parents' house, so I don't think I have my save here. But maybe I'll pop it in because it's a good looking game. I mean, it is a flawed game for sure, but once you kind of figure out how it plays, it actually plays really well. It's interesting. It is not the horrible game that it's made out to be.
I don't know. I always have a hard time coming up with games off the top of my head.
Yeah, like I mean, there's so many that we could choose.
Like, look, I could pick plenty of things off of the off the wall here. I've started calling it the library.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like,
I mean,
you know, people have bookshelves of books, you know, in their house. So like this is a game library is like how I like to refer to it as. Anyways, I'll think of something that needs more love. But I'll also read this $5 from Ethan Ragu. Thank you. Saying, have you been able to test any PAL 576i games yet?
576. No, but I mean it is in the supported inputs. I mean I don't think I have any PAL games on any systems that I don't have any. I don't have them set up for loading or anything on any systems where I could do that. I don't think right now. What I could maybe do though, I could Whew, man, I know the GTA games aren't known for their frame rate, but there's a good jitter when that car is in view.
Are you playing it? Is the main character the character from 3?
I don't
And
know.
this does he talk?
I was skipping the cutscenes. I have no idea what button gets you in the car.
People are asking for you to do some Xbox.
Yeah, I can do some Xbox. I have a couple of games
Biggity.
sitting here. But was there? Well, I was talking about Dawn Man. I don't need to necessarily play Dawn Man. We've seen what pretty looking games look like de-interlaced.
Yeah. There was $1.99 from Red Crested Bregal. Thank you. Saying the best Mac compatible 4K capture device for OSSC. Neither of us have a Mac as our primary platform. You might want to check out the channel Epos Box. He might mention does a lot of capture card stuff, and he probably will say when something works on the Mac or not. I mean, that is the appeal of GTA games. Is just
and that's why I've never
finished a GTA game because I always get sidetracked, like destroying stuff. I really want to play like 5. I should really just play 5.
I mean, I played GTA 3 back in the day, probably even 1 or 2. A friend had them. But yeah, I mean, I never had any interest in like the sandbox aspect of the games, and they never really called to me. I mean, I did like Red Dead Redemption a lot, and I still want to play Red Dead Redemption 2. But like just the setting of those games appeals to me way more than GTA,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I liked was Sleeping Dogs, in terms of like a open world city crime thriller.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Sleeping Dogs a lot. It's really too bad that the developer shut down and we never got to have a sequel, because it was pretty good.
Did it end with a teased sequel?
No, but it felt like I'm pretty sure they said they were working on one at some point. But I really liked that game.
Oh, we got Artemia's in the chat.
Oh, welcome.
There is $5 or £5 from Jamie Maxwell once again. Thank you. Saying instant menu switching is one thing, but what about the PS1 startup? There's no delay. If there's no delay detecting the signal starting it, that's a game changer for me.
I think I cut the line about that out of the script because I was trying to radically reduce the word count. But let's do it right now. I mean, you've seen it before. And again, it's going to depend on your TV, depend on your capture card. But I have, I have in various situations managed to. Oops, I keep going past it. There we go. I have at times managed to get the full boot up. So would you take a look at this? There it is. You saw it fade in. You see it fade to the PlayStation. Keep in mind, I'm not sure if I'm in triple buffer mode right now. And there you are there. So I was in triple buffer mode actually, but even in frame lock mode, you should be able to see.
I do wonder.
You should be able to see the full boot up.
I wonder if there will be.
There it is.
Like an auto signal detect added to this at some point in the future.
Something else I've really wondered is if, that one feature that's supposed to be in the HDMI 2.1 spec, that I don't know if it's really been utilized yet or not. I don't have any HDMI 2.1 devices other than, like Xbox Series X or whatever, I guess is HDMI 2.1, but I don't have anything to connect it to that is HDMI 2.1. I forget what it's called. Like, I forget what the feature is called, but it has something that sounds like it's meant for, this sounds like it's meant for, just instant change of content type. Like if you were in a 60 hertz game console menu and then you load up a 24 hertz Blu-ray disc, it's supposed to be able to do that instantly. I think.
What you should try to do is play Contra Shattered Soldier so we can see. Oh, because that one is like notorious for having.
It does it. It does it. I've tested it.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, I've never seen a motion adaptive deinterlacer get around it. I'm going to show it in the video. So. Okay. It's even the PS3. Even the PS3 over HDMI does it.
There was £5 from the Techno G. Thank you. Saying amazing content. Recently enjoyed the downscaling video. Do PAL CRTs stretch a 240p 480i signal to 288? Are EDTV CRTs a no-no for 240p? Cheers. I can't speak from any experience on that.
Say again. I was distracted.
Do PAL CRTs stretch a 240p signal? Do PAL CRTs stretch a 240p / 480i signals to 288?
No, they're squished. I mean, if you have 288 lines, right? The games were designed for 240 lines, but your aspect ratio of the TV is the same. So it only uses the middle 240 of those lines. So it's going to be squished compared to an NTSC screen, unless the game was designed for PAL, in which case it should fill the space correctly. But I think that's relatively uncommon that it is treated properly like that. I don't know if the RetroTINK will then unstretch the PAL games to be actual 4.3. That's something I don't know much about. Also, fair warning, my Xbox disk drive has not been popping out 100% of the time lately, so that's a little worrying. But I do have another Xbox, but it doesn't have a soft mod on it.
I mean, I feel like this is like a really old version of the hack.
Well, sorry, I'm not good at keeping these things up to date. The thing is, Xbox demos. What? I don't really understand how I use that menu, and I have never quite understood what. Oh, that's the name of the disc. I'll play Jet Set Radio Future, even though I have no idea how to play it, and I'll make people that love the game very sad because I don't. And I'm also, since again we're looking at 480p on the Xbox here, I'm not looking at my PVM for this. So I'll be looking through OBS, which will not be great.
There was
RE2 on N64. That is on my list of things. After I do this on the Xbox, I'll go back to N64 and I'll do S video because I know some people will want to see N64 S video.
There is 14 ZAR from Gamehead ZA.
Thank you.
Is Czar like a New Zealand thing, maybe?
It must be some country with the Z.
14 Czars.
Czars. I like it.
Just saying hashtag Dragon Quest VIII Remake.
I'm down for that. It's due. It's due for one.
See, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that.
I mean, it was on 3D.
I don't feel like a remake. I don't feel that
it doesn't need
it doesn't. Dragon Quest 11 is like some majorly better looking game than it.
But it's not 480i.
But it has a 480p mode.
Nuh-uh. It has a widescreen mode that's not correct. The art isn't correctly scaled. It does not have 480p.
For some reason, I thought it did.
It has a bad widescreen mode, so I just play it 4:3.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it needs an HD version. I mean, I don't love the idea that they added extra playable characters, extra party members in 3DS version. Like, I mean, Wild Arms XF does that too, which I haven't played, but I really like sort of the beauty of a game that just has you get your 4 party members or your 3 party members or whatever, and they stay with you for the whole game, And I feel like I feel like in a game like Dragon Quest VIII where they it is those 4 party members like that, they define the game, and it feels weird to me when you have to have new features in the new version, so you add party members, and I haven't played the 3DS version, but I don't like screwing with the simplicity of the original cast.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do anything in this game but jump and grind, apparently.
And that's
but I guess it looks good.
And then there was $5 from Ricky Pot.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Saying, hello, fine gentlemen. I was wondering if either of you had any game recommendations for the folks who might have just bought a 5X Pro. Just like any game to play?
I mean, obviously stuff like Chrono Cross, that's something that we haven't been able to play, other than on a CRT or emulated.
Yeah.
So that's it. That Silent Hill, Dino Crisis, those are pretty exciting. Go indulge in some PS2 games. I mean, this is the best way to play PS2 games in
games that haven't had a remake
ever. Yeah,
or remastered. I mean, I was saying they should play Maximo.
Oh yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing through those games finally, because especially the second game it just feels so good. And I showed earlier that the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games, they are so clean looking, just so clean looking. They're 480i, but they're super sampled. So they just look so clean. Well, that's probably enough Jet Set Radio. Should I do something else, Xbox?
I'm running to the bathroom and get my water. I've caught up on Super Chats.
Oh, you are caught up on Super Chats. Did I say Wild Arms XF? I meant to say Alter Code F. Alter Code F is the remake of 1. That's what I meant to say. I just got Wild Arms XF. Unfortunately, the Japanese version, because I had a chance to buy the American version a few years ago for $20 or $30, and now it's very expensive. And I, did a little PSP panic buying, because I was like, ooh, now the other, Vita and PS3 are staying up. What will that do to PSP game prices now that that's the only one that's going down. So yeah. Let's see, Dino Crisis Why not? I tried the other. The other 480i menu games on PS1. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I don't even have to stand up to do it. I do have to play Dino Crisis because I did put it on my, on the danged thumbnail, and I made it I just chose it for the game that for the whatever YouTube's reason for marking the game. Oops. Oh shoot. Shoot. Whoops. That's probably fine. This Liberty, for some reason I turned on my PS2 instead of my PS1, and this Liberty City story is I flopped out and got caught in the drive. I don't care about the disc, I care about my PS2 drive. But no, PS2 is not the system we are looking for. I mean, I could play Dino Crisis on PS2, but it's not what I'm going to do. Get ready for that full boot up there. Oh, looks like people are making trouble for Corey when he comes back. Let's see, which am I on buffer mode or the switching in Silent Hill was so fast. I'm not sure if there could have possibly been an audio drop, but it was so fast, and even in frame lock mode or frame lock mode. So I wonder how Dino Crisis will fare.
There is a yeah. Which ones have you read? I see that there's
I didn't read any. I was waiting for you to come back because it looked like some of them were there just to make trouble for you.
There's $2 Canadian from Owen Brady saying, "Can we see some Sega Saturn?"
I did a little earlier, but I do have a very noteworthy Saturn game sitting over here. I want to do one more PS1 game after we look at a little Dino Crisis here.
All right.
I do want to do one more PS1 game that I just think would be interesting.
There was £5 from Jamie Maxwell once again.
Thank you.
Saying, name 2 8/16-bit game tracks you'd like covered on a classic guitar. One each, get to work on them. I have a week off. I've been just dying for like a cover of, Quartet Stage 1. I've been requesting that for a long time.
You know what theme has been on my mind a lot lately, because I started playing Final Fantasy 14 again. It has Cyan's theme from Final Fantasy 6 in it. And it's kind of cool because it's kind of got more of an Asian sort of remix of it, so it sounds pretty cool. Like that tune's been on my mind a lot lately, so that might be an interesting track to hear remixed on guitar.
What I want to hear is, and there's very little here, so that you can make it blossom to a full song. Is if you could do a guitar cover of the Instant Replay music from Hard Drive.
I knew that's where you were going with it. I knew that's what you were going for.
I mean, that'd probably make my life if someone made a cover of that song.
So what's interesting about this, so remember we're on frame lock mode. And look, even then it's just like, it's so fast. When I leave, my PVM actually jumps up and down for us for just a few frames. So, you know, it's not perfect. It's not perfect on the CRT either. But what's interesting is it's like instant. When you go out of the menu, it goes to black. But when you bring up the menu, it's like there might be one black frame there, but there might also not be. Like it is an immediate screen transition to 480i. Like it's pretty crazy. So let's see if triple buffer behaves differently.
Okay. Well, there was a $4.99 from Paul Sutton saying, "Congrats, you earned $4.99." There's also $50 from Zoom Dust.
Zoom Dust
with no comment, just throwing it out there.
Just
thank you. I mean, if you follow that up with a say super chat for Super Friends, what they said shortly after that.
So who were they fighting?
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't think these cards hit anything.
There is $2 from Container 7 saying because Corey is getting water. And $5 from Mega X6 saying these games are bringing back so many memories.
Mm. I mean, you know, I really think PS1 and PS2 are the star of the show when it comes to the 5X, you know? I mean, they are the systems that have the most to gain, I think. And Saturn too, to some extent.
I thought I would throw in a VHS into my little window there just for a little bit.
Sure, why not?
This one is labeled number 1. It's on the side, on the spine, it just says Green Day, Hole, and extra stuff. So we're gonna find out what's on there.
Well, don't run the audio through because it sounds like some of it could be copyright strike. But yeah, it is a pretty instant transition. I mean, sometimes you get like a little blip or something, but I mean, they ain't no waiting. I mean, it is solved. And see, what's interesting is when I come back on the RetroTINK, it doesn't like jump, but on my PVM, like the screen jumps for a couple of frames when it goes back to 240p. So, I mean, they both behave a little differently, but there's no waiting. Turn it back to frame lock mode. And I'm going to put in one more PS1 game. This is a game that I mostly got because John Linneman is such a big fan. And I believe it is a game that is 480i but has no real reason to be 480i. So deinterlacing it should be quite nice. Never played through Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis is a game I like in concept more than execution. I might have liked it better if I just looked up the solutions to the puzzles, because Resident Evil, like the puzzles in those games are just like, you know, you can just kind of figure them out. Oh, I got this item. I probably put this item in this thing over here. Imagine if a Professor Layton game had you going around shooting dinosaurs. That's what Dino Crisis is. Like, the puzzles are all these like brain teaser type, you know, you really have to do a lot of math, and you know, it's not the kind of puzzle I'm looking for in my dino shooting games, you know? And Dino Crisis 2 I actually like a lot more. because it's interesting because one, man, this game's loud. Dino Crisis 1, uses the 3D graphics, right? Dino Crisis 2 goes to pre-rendered backgrounds. So you might think that the first game would be more action-oriented, but the second game is actually much more of like kind of an arcadey sort of action game. And it's a lot more fun to play, in my opinion. And it was, weirdly enough, directed by Shu Takumi, who, went on to be the creator of Phoenix Wright. Which, oh my gosh, like, the Great Ace Attorney coming westward is like maybe my most anticipated thing right now. Like that, I'm pretty excited about this. So yeah, this game is, I mean, it does look like some of this menu stuff, like this text in this menu is like pretty high res. Like, I guess the graphics are high res. I guess there is a reason that it's 480i. Because it's not, it's not like 240p pixel art. I have not played much Mr. Driller in my day, so expect not great play here.
I just waited for it to switch over. We're looking at some.
Is this just like a concert record off a TV or something?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good. This is 1080p we're looking at right here. So I think this is better than my standalone or my upscaler.
Oh, your DVD thing?
Yeah, I think it looks better.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're looking at really small there, and we're looking at over Discord for that matter. But I think it looks pretty good.
Let's see here. There is $5 from Justin Sisson without didn't say anything. If I missed it, please just paste it back in the chat, and I will see it then. Here. Then there was there's $5 from Michael McManaman again, saying what do you better for PS1 or 2, fat PS3 or the 5X? Well, you get any shimmer. You definitely get shimmer with the PS3.
Yes, that's true. If you're using discs, some games shimmer for some reason. Some games are non-integer scale, and I haven't found a consistent reason for why. But if you download, the downloads are always sort of a softer scale, which is maybe a little too soft, but I'll take that over shimmering. I think it's overall. I think PS1 looks pretty good on PS3 overall. PS2, I worry about those early PS3 systems. I mean, now that people know how to fix the yellow live death, they might be a little more preservable, but I don't fully trust like the backwards compatibility capabilities of them, even maybe with the full hardware ones. I don't know. I haven't used the full hardware ones that extensively. But yeah, I mean, I would say overall, I mean, just for the pure accuracy of using the original hardware, I would say I personally, as someone with a fat PS3 that can play backwards compatible games, I personally prefer using the original hardware on a CRT or upscaled. personally.
There's $5 from Zoom Dust saying, "Oops, I forgot to say something. Here are some words."
I love the
You love Green Day? You know, you like Dookie era Green Day?
I love the Bomberman themed. Just the way that it's remixed in this game. That plays at the beginning of every level. It just something about this version of that do is just so cool to me.
Oh, and I thought you were gonna say that Trey Cool is your favorite drummer.
I don't have a favorite drummer. I hate to tell you. I'm sure this shocks you.
There's $2 from Apocalyptic Minister saying, "You guys are showing off." Thank you. There's $2 from Ricky Pond saying, "This is for when Corey thought he was caught up." That's a good question from Depicondile. Thank you for $2.99. Saying favorite console boot up.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say the PS1. I think that's.
Yeah, I mean that one's tough to. I mean, that's like, that was like the first one to me. Like that was really the first one I was familiar with. So.
I mean, I would say that the PS1 definitely has the best boot up, but I mean, I do love the Sega CD.
Yeah.
What is it, like 1.02 or something like that?
The Japanese Saturn's not bad. I mean, I love the Japanese Saturn logo so much more than.
We're gonna get some commercials here. Hopefully, I didn't cut out the commercials.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, it's the head. Man,
it's the head.
It's the head. It's called the head.
I mean, this seems like the kind of ad that would only appear on MTV.
It was like a series. It was like a cartoon. It was like a mini series. There's an alien.
How about that?
Leave the head.
Okay.
Okay, so there's $2 from Dustin Kramer saying $2, but you have to give each other a compliment.
Corey, no one can record VHS tapes just like you.
I was gonna say you're like, I wish that I could write the way that you write. I'm always very envious of how well you can write.
Well, I have to say that writing the script for the RetroTINK 5X episode took a lot less time than it
would have taken me.
Well, it took less time than I thought it would take me too. And I mean, I'll be honest, this largely just because the dang thing works like you want it to,
Yeah.
We always tell people, like, don't be afraid to send us things ahead of time so that we can like help you identify like, some problems with it, because it makes our jobs easier too when we finally decide to do a video and it just works. And the RetroTINK 5X just works.
And then there was $99.99.
$99.99.
Throwing down $99.99. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Whew. Without a comment, he's just throwing it down, saying, "Well, there you go." I think this might be like our biggest stream.
That's just advance money for games that Paul is unquestionably going to have in his store, and I'm going to be like, I want that. I almost bought. I forget what the games were. I was tempted. He showed me some games. that he had in his store a few weeks ago, and I decided to pass. But I was tempted. I was tempted.
Things are getting a little spicy here. These Bongo Jeans commercials. Jeez.
Here, I'm going to turn on a system that I have neglected this whole stream, and I already put a game in it, hoping to play it. Weird. Why am I getting unsupported signal after I turned off my? The Saturn is off. Weird.
I don't know.
It's weird. Now that I turned on the PC Engine, it's fine. The Saturn was already off, and it was just like holding that frame for some reason.
There was $10 from Sydney SE. Thank you. Saying, hey guys, I've gone to great lengths to acquire my retro systems, Dreamcast, PS1, N64, NT Mini, Super NT to play 1080p. Now the RetroTINK 5X comes out. Is there any reason I would still want to get one? So you're talking about getting the built-in 1080p or built-in mods?
Right.
Like DC digital, PS1 digital.
I mean, I think if you're going the mod route, and you already have gone the mod route for, the HDMI mods, I mean, I wouldn't really think so. I mean, that's there. You're already getting digital to digital, so you don't have the analog noise to worry about, Yeah, the most valuable thing about going with RGB is that you can use it. You have the flexibility to use it on a CRT much more easily.
Yeah. There was $5 from Weaburger saying any games on your Grail list, maybe most expensive that you want on physical.
Ooh. I mean, Shantae was definitely one. I feel like Shantae and Rondo of Blood were are like definitely the most expensive ones that I ended up actually going for. I mean, I did get Suikoden 2. That was like Suikoden 2 was probably like my first Grail. That was a game that was expensive even only just a few years after it came out. It was already over $100, and that was my first Grail, and I did get it because Game Dave upgrade. It's Dave's favorite game, and when he saw like just a super perfect condition copy, he just had to go for it, and so he sold me his original for like an extraordinarily low price. And I had to take it. But in terms of current Grails, I mean, obviously there's stuff that like, I'd sure as heck love a good cheap copy of Snatcher, but I don't really see myself getting the English version of that ever, physically. That would definitely be one. I mean, that one is like kind of a weird one for me though. Like I'm trying to think like what is something I would like that like is like really like, oh yeah, that's totally Try. Try would totally want that. Like I say, Rondo of Blood, Shantae, those were big ones that I did go for. I did finally go for them with a freelance check,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to put this in my bank. I'm going to buy something I really want with it. And I did. I bought Rondo and I bought Shantae.
I was just thinking about something that I can't remember right now. So it's like, it would have been cool to have that. Like it'd be cool to have a US version of Crusader Vicente.
Yeah. That's a game that like I think looks so cool, and I bought the Japanese version of it and I haven't played through it yet. But like I feel like I often see people when they actually like sit down and play through that game, they tend to like possibly either not like it or strongly dislike it. I have a hard time believing that it's actually bad, though. But I have seen like a few reactions of just like, ugh, that was not good.
Oh, of course, Panzer Dragoon Saga. I mean, I'd love to have.
I got the Japanese Saturn version of that recently. It was like $50. I also got Guardian Heroes Japanese version recently, and Shining Wisdom.
Do I want to keep on looking through VHS tapes?
Sure. Why don't you put one of your just home movies on?
I'd rather that be more curated.
I suppose that could be true.
I wish I had some of those old like gameplay tapes that I had. Like just when I would record games.
I'm not doing too well on this. Let's
Oh, let me catch up on these. There was $5 from Alex Chipman. Thank you. Saying, what's the verdict? Is the RetroTINK 5X an OSSC killer? I have an OSSC and a Koryu, and I wonder if I should swap over.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a killer. I mean, all of these devices have their place, but I mean, if 480i is the key here, right? I mean, the OSSC Pro is coming. I mean, if you're already all set up to deal with, the inputs that the OSSC currently has, the OSSC Pro is probably going to do the motion adaptive deinterlacing, as far as I know. But it's also probably going to be more expensive. So, I mean, our assumption is that the RetroTINK 5X is going to be the most affordable of the, this new generation of scalers. But that's just an assumption. We don't know. But it's here and it's working tremendously well. I think if you don't need, to really dial in your optimized settings for every single system and stuff, and you're happy relying on the optimizations that the TINK 5X itself offers, like pre-built in, and the ones that it may yet offer in firmware updates. I mean, it's, I'll say this, like, I'm going to find somewhere else.
These guys.
I'm going to find some other function for my OSSC in my setup. Like, the RetroTINK 5X is for now going to be my primary way for capturing all of my, RGB and component consoles for sure, for now. But, I'm not going to get rid of my OSSC. I've got things I want to do with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it can offer. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Pixel FX Morph can offer. But right now, I am just like so blown away by what the 5X is doing. I mean, if this was the final scaler we ever got, I'd die a happy man. I am going to. So what I'm going to do.
That is what it is. The blue is from VHS player.
I'm going to unplug my SCART and component because I need to. This is going to be tricky. I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to try. It's going to be hard to make this reach. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try to get you some S-Video N64.
There was 777 Canadian from Powerhouse Official saying, how about the Crash Bandicoot prototype dump that was hidden that Hidden Palace has done recently. Oh, I haven't even followed that.
No, I haven't heard of that. That's news to me. That's news to me. I didn't know.
There was $2 from Michael McManaman. It's like I have such a hard time with your last name. I'm sorry. McManaman saying hardest system to stream or capture 3DS. I mean, I probably 3DS because there's no 100% way to do it.
Yeah.
Directly, without a crazy mod that's like impossible to get now, anyways.
And even then, it's not a perfect mod. But hopefully we will get one.
Billy Bob, he doesn't have Magic Net Ray Earth, sorry.
Oh, I don't know if I can... I thought I was going to reach, but now I'm not sure. Maybe if I get the GameCube out of the way. Hang on.
I gotta send you this tape when I digitize that. I mean, you can easily find this concert on YouTube, I'm sure. This is VHS going through the RetroTINK 5X right now that we're looking at. Hello. It's just like I recorded this off a TV 25 years ago, probably. So, I mean, yeah, it's probably 95, 96. I'm pretty sure this was right after, probably 96, maybe 97. I mean, this is like after their first album was out. This is like before they even released their second album, I think. Foo Fighters.
So here's S-Video N64. This is, by the way, using I'm pretty sure I'm using the cable that came with the RetroTINK 2X Mini. Which is, pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just using generic 4.3. Now, I think a lot of people have been saying that if you use the optimized N64 mode, it almost looks like Deblur. And the thing is, when you're using optimized sampling with anything but like super sharp RGB, you are going to get like sort of some errors. But the thing is that anti-aliasing of N64 kind of hides that. So, I mean, I just popped in Mario 64 because that's a game everyone knows what it looks like, So
for people that are asking what VCR it is, it's a Sony SLV something 55. It's just like, it's bare bones. It's like a bare bones tape player. So it looks pretty good, I think, It's not... Of course, I don't have any audio on or anything. I don't know how good the audio sounds, but I think that if anybody is looking to the 5X to digitize VHS tapes, I mean, I feel like they would be convinced just looking at this, right?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't dropped.
No, it does, because it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's probably the ultimate way to capture VHS tapes at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it looks better than the other ones that I have. The dedicated VHS VCR that I have.
Just so people know, because I'm connecting the S-Video directly to the RetroTINK, I'm playing it off of OBS, so.
There was...
I can still play it, though.
There's $2 from Apocalyptic Minister saying, you guys have kept our gaming community. How long? What do you mean? Just like... I mean, I guess we've...
How long have we been part of it?
Yeah, I mean,
mean,
I've
8 years. It's gonna be 8 years.
Oh, I mean, in terms of MLiG, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, I've been, you know, as long as I've been on the internet, I guess I've been doing gaming stuff. You know, hanging
Yeah,
out with
same
people,
here.
talking to gaming people. You know.
I mean, going back, I mean, we've seen Paul Sutton is in the chat. I'm not sure if he's still here or not, but I mean, I've known him for a super long time on gaming forums.
Mm-hmm. And you know, from the back loggery, we started that in 2000. Drum and I started that in 2007. We've been streaming on the back loggery since 2008. You know.
I guess when I think about it, like I've been doing it, like doing like gaming stuff since like AOL message boards,
Yeah.
and even like some like Prodigy stuff, I guess. All right, do I want to try a different tape here?
I don't know. Do you think I can get to Bowser with playing off the OBS screen?
Maybe.
Well, let's see.
Oh, crunchy inside that.
I know a lot of people wanted to see Resident Evil 2, so I'll
Looks like public access.
put that in next. Now that is a bad looking tape, or are you just fast forward?
No, it's kind of crunchy.
Yeah, it is looking bad, but it's holding on to it, isn't it?
Oh, this is the Regents Review Live.
What is that?
Well, in New York State, there was like a standardized test that, like, as from like 9th grade to 12th grade, you had to take Regents tests, which were like state tests. So this is the Regents Review Live.
So, like, to make sure that you are, like, knowing everything that a person of a certain school grade should know.
Yeah, that you basically learn that entire school year.
Huh. Man, it's a rough looking tape, but I'm impressed to see it working.
I mean, when I'm fast forwarding, it's like it sounds pretty crunchy.
Well, I got to Bowser even with OBS lag. I guess that's something. Alright, but now I'm going to put in RE2, because I know a lot of people wanted to see the N64 version of RE2, because if you're using an expansion pack, it changes between 240p and 480i all the time. I want to say some people on our Discord were even saying, like, some scenes are 240p and some scenes are 480i, which makes no sense to me. Like, I just don't understand why the game would even bother doing that. But I've not played very much of the N64 version. Now remember, we're sticking with S video here for now. So let's see. Are we on? We're on frame lock, so let's go on triple buffer mode to be safe. So there's $2 from Bionics. I remember when GameCube games were affordable. Man, you know, it's so
I didn't realize
it's so interesting to me how, like, people have really latched on to GameCube in the past several years. You know, I mean, just because, you know, hey, the PS2 was the more popular console. And, like, for me personally, like, I considered the GameCube my main console during that generation. I also had PS2, but didn't play it as much. Do I have a save on here? I mean, this is a used game, so so these are not my saves. Leon looks like it's hurting there. Not too much. This is not an ideal inventory situation. Let's see.
There was also $5 from Joshua Hummicky saying, "Let's do some MTV Amp." You ever get some footage of that show? It sounds familiar, but I don't have any of that recorded for sure. Doesn't sound like something I would have recorded at the time.
But anyway, like I was saying, I kept up with GameCube, really well during its generation, and I guess I have found PS2 to be more fun in recent years because it just because I had more left to explore on it, like PS2 has just been a lot more fun for me, and so I'm surprised at the full-on PS2 nostalgia. I mean, I know Nintendo has a special magic that keeps people around. I know that myself all too well. But don't you? Oh, there was a little something. Now that was just on my capture card, though. Remember, it's going to depend on your TV to some extent. And I think most TVs are just going to go, maybe it would go black for a frame or two during that transition. So it threw.
This is my super chat.
That it is. And this is our thanks. Thank you.
And $2 from Shadow Mask saying, "When is Korn Woodstock '99 concert, Corey?" I'm not a Korn fan. Korn, like that's like that period of like new metal. Like I was like I didn't really watch MTV at that point. Yes. All of a sudden, so I was a grunge teenager. Same here.
Ready, set, go.
See, right now, around the time the Go goes off screen is about when the Framemeister would come back. So yeah, Cruising Exotica. Is there any I mean, it's almost midnight. I mean,
it is.
The RetroTINK deserves a long stream, I suppose. But is I don't know. Is Cruising Exotica a finisher game or not?
You don't have Killer Instinct Gold.
I don't.
Do you?
No.
I'll record something from the video. Woodstock '99. I almost went to Woodstock '99. Although that wasn't as good as Woodstock '94. But '99, I almost went to Woodstock '99, but my girlfriend at the time told me that she would break up with me if I went. So all my friends went and I didn't. Isn't that really sad? Isn't that really sad? So that's what happened to me in 1999. Just pick something else. Pick one last thing. What is you did RE? You know what you should do? You have Sonic 2. Try Sonic 2.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look it. It's about 5,000.
I know the answer to Sonic 2.
I just like watching this because I want to see the chat say "Oh my god, it's been about 5,000." Just waiting for people to see. It's funny. It's fun seeing what I have on these tapes, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, each one of these tapes are like 6 hours long. There was $5 from Justin Sisson. Thank you. Saying another $5 for Corey's excellent taste in music. Well, thank you. $2 from Hector Santana asking when can we get an ETA on your RTX? I always want to say RTX. RetroTINK 5X review video. You said you're going to try to have it finished by the end of next weekend, but we can't guarantee anything.
Yeah, I mean that would be an ideal situation.
If I didn't have to travel for a couple days, then we could probably count on it. But because I have to travel for like 3 days for work.
All right, you ready for this? You ready for this action?
Yeah.
There it is. I mean, this is something that if I remember... Oh, did I see a little blip there? I'm looking at the CRT. Oh, I think that was the game. Was that just something in the game? Or this mode, I don't think even works on... on the FrameMeister, right? Like, there's something weird about how it works. They just... It's not that it's not that it just has, like, you know, a hitch from when it starts. It just doesn't work at all. I have no idea what that screen flash item is.
I think it switches spots with you.
Oh.
You and
yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, so yeah, I don't want to go on there. That's where that is.
Just watching the stream, it's hilarious, I think. Oh, it's Radiohead.
You see some coming?
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
I mean, the fact of the matter is this is a weird interlaced mode. Like, it doesn't work like normal interlacing. I think what's going on is what's happening is it's skipping. I think it might skip a few lines of detail, possibly. Like, it is not a normal interlacing mode. Like, I mean, if you'd been watching the stream up to now, we played a good bit of PS2 and stuff like that, and the de-interlacing is good in normal situations. But this is an oddity.
I gotta hear what song they're playing. I'm not gonna make it like that.
I do not have 3DO, unfortunately, but I assume that it probably looks pretty close to actual 240p. Whoops. Selection stayed on 2-player.
Yeah, someone said Grandma Police 100%. Yeah. There's $4.99 from Paul Sutton. saying that there might be a TNL and a TNL NYC meetup this year. Did you tell whoever took your apartment that they may have to house 2 or 8 guests for a weekend forever? It's funny because a friend that like lives down the block. Well, his parents live down the block, and he still lives in the city. But every year on Christmas, he will send us a photo of what is like on the stoop there.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I have no idea if the people who own the house like ended up moving into it eventually.
I forgot to go off of N64 optimized mode, so that possibly could have made the something about the interlace mode look a little weird too. That could have potentially been part of the reason the interlacing looks. But I think the de-interlacing looks great for what is a super funky mode. Anyway, I'm sorry. Tell your story.
I was done, but there was Henry Clark just said that the Parasite Eve wins.
Oh, okay. Well, I really should try and make some time.
It's not that long
this month to do it. Yeah, I know. I should try to do it. I'm thinking about taking after finishing the RetroTINK episode. I think I'm going to take like 3 days off and binge RE8. Because I think I'll need it. I think I'll need it after finishing this episode. Because I'm not planning to leave myself much time for pleasure this week. So
is that out like on Friday?
It's out on Friday, so yeah, I'm not gonna be able to.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, this is the Genesis 320 mode. So the loop-de-loos in Sonic look round in the optimized mode. But remember, the Super Nintendo optimized mode, I don't think I actually showed it. Super Nintendo optimized is not square pixels. That makes me happy. With the exception of Super Game Boy, it would be nice if there was a square pixel mode for optimized square pixel mode just for Super Game Boy. That would be nice. But the optimized mode is actually a little wider than 420 on Super Nintendo. But again, you go back to this generic 4.3. That's what I'm looking at my BVM. That's what it looks like. That is the shape of Sonic. That is the shape of the Genesis. That's just how it is on CRT. And you're on generic 4.3. You're never wrong.
There's $6.99 Canadian from McGuinty 2 saying, "Hey Corey, got any Conan clips of a certain bear?" And I do not. I only have Pimpbot 5000 clips because I thought that Pimpbot 5000 was the funniest thing.
Whew, man. Well, that was a stream, huh?
Heck yeah! Thank you to everybody who donated. I think everyone made it I think we had more donations this stream than any stream ever.
Probably the most successful stream by any metric.
Yes. But thank you to everybody who hung out and helped us definitely achieve like a record high views, because I mean it was like over 1,100 at one point.
Wow, I didn't catch that. Wow. Whew.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody. I hope everyone has a great week.
Yeah, and I don't know. Wish me luck. I'm gonna be busy this week, so
you're gonna do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
I'll do what I can.
And thanks and congratulations to Mike Chief for doing a great job on this device. It's got to feel so good for him to, have it released.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, he's like, oh, now I gotta like.
Now
and
he's
I-
got to listen to feedback and, you know, implement features and, you know, fix any bugs people come across. I mean, you know, so I'm sure he's going to be keeping himself busy, but he deserves a rest because he's done something truly remarkable here. I mean, like I said, we've been waiting for our whole YouTube careers for, you know, lag-free motion adaptive deinterlacing, you know, instant switching from, you know, 240p and 480i. I mean, it's, you know, it looks like I might be losing a little bit of my stream connection to YouTube quality. So I guess we should wrap it up.
All right.
So we'll see
Anyways.
you in the episode either this weekend, this coming weekend, or early the following week. And we will definitely see you on Sunday for playing something. We just got 70 Czars from Gamehead ZA. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On stream plus my first MLiG stream. Love your
Really?
videos. See more videos. If you haven't seen any of the old streams and you would like to check them out, there is a playlist on the front page of the channel that links to like probably nearly 300 live streams.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's
And
RetroTINK
Mike's
in
in
the
the
chat.
chat. I hope I hope you enjoyed it. we certainly did. And we will continue to be enjoying and using and heck, streaming with the RetroTINK. I mean, it's just it's not even going to be a big deal. It's not even going to be like the star of the show. Oh, we're streaming with the RetroTINK. We're just going to be streaming with the RetroTINK because that's just going to be what we're doing, what we're using, you know. So yeah, I mean, this we're going to be using this a lot going forward, and yeah, going to do this episode. But yeah, thanks everyone for showing up, and yeah, all the people who hadn't watched the streams before, every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we are here and we are playing something. So we will see you next time.